Am I dreaming? I just pinched myself 4 times before I started the stream. I'm still not sure if I am dreaming. Because I'm so used to, as a Giants fan, of week 1 feeling like a nightmare. I remember the Steelers a couple of years ago. We got our doors blown off. I remember the Broncos last year. We made Teddy Bridgewater look like he was Joe Montana. I remember the first half of this game where the offense looked like they were Jason Garrett's offense. Couldn't move the football. Am I dreaming? Or did the New York Giants just go into Tennessee, the number 1 seed in the AFC conference last year, with big bad Derrick Henry, without Azeez Ojulari, without Kayvon Thibodeau, basically without Kadarius Toney, and stomp down the Tennessee Titans? Did I just witness that? Stand up, New York Giant fans. 1-0. How's that feel? How's that feel? We're going to go over the game. We're going to talk about all of it in the live stream. I had to go live. You don't get games like this ever so often. I had to go live. Had to talk about it with you guys. I know a lot of you guys prefer the post-game videos. I had to go live. I had to experience it with you guys, celebrate it with you guys, and I'm fired up. I know we're all going to overreact. We're fans at the end of the day. I'm pumped up. I can't wait for Carolina week 2. We're going to talk about Brian Daboll. We're going to talk about Brian Daboll. We're going to talk about Saquon Barkley. We're going to talk about the effort from this defense tonight. Ryan, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Chris, I told you my reverse jinx would work. I'm happily eliminated from my survivor pool. That's right. You said you were betting, you were picking Tennessee because you thought that it would help the Giants get a win today. That's awesome, man. Harrison Lopes, man. Stand up, new member. Welcome to the squad, man. I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody for being here. If you're new, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, celebrate the New York Giants win. We don't get these that often, so celebrate it. Enjoy it. I didn't expect it. I'll be the first to tell you. Toba, I got to meet Toba at Giants Fan Fest. Awesome kid. Been a great long-term supporter of the channel. Love him to death. Thank you, Toba. Stand up, new member. Welcome to the squad, man. Seemed like a really cool kid when I met him at Fan Fest. Big Daddy, I said we can win. DJ's better than Tannehill. We'll talk about Jones. Obviously, there's some bad takeaways from Jones in this game, but if you're being fair, the offensive line, the interior offensive line in this game was pathetic, specifically in the first half. And then the New York Giants got to the ground game. They got to the strength. That's what we do best. And we were the most surprising thing to me in this game, Big Daddy, and obviously Jones' interception in the end zone was pitiful. Okay, I'm not going to excuse him of that. But what I'm going to say is the Giants, what amazes me in this game, first time this offensive line ever played together. First time they ever played together, right? You got Andrew Thomas on the left side and basically 4 new offensive linemen going up against arguably the best run defense in the NFL. We beat them at what they're best at. Saquon Barkley ran for 164 yards. He averaged 9 yards a carry. You know how many times the Tennessee Titans in 17 games last year gave up 100 yards to a team? 3. To a team. Saquon by himself, week 1, behind a makeshift offensive line, ran for 164 yards. I said it 3 months ago. I'm going to continue to say it. The offense this year revolves around Saquon Barkley. In the passing game, in the ground game, he's the weapon that this offense revolves around. And you got your answer tonight. Saquon Barkley is back. Saquon Barkley is back. The question is, can Kadarius Toney get on the field? Can these weapons stay healthy throughout the totality of the year? But this offense, in the second half, Brian Daboll made some adjustments. We'll get into it in this stream. But I love the effort tonight from the New York Giants. And I'm just as excited as everybody else, man. I'm just as in shock as everybody else. VT Jake, man, thank you very much. No big deal. Beat the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. Yeah, listen, this is our best win. I think this probably exceeds the Seahawks win from a couple of years ago with Joe Judge because it's the first game. Brian Daboll. And you look at the Giants' schedule, VT Jake, this was a game that if you're trying to be as a realistic fan as you possibly could be going into the year, you said, well, that's an L. You know, they're going up against the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. They have Mike Vrabel, who has not had a losing season since he's been there. He's been the head coach there for 4 years. They know what they're doing on that side of the ball. They're acclimated, so on and so forth. Giants got a rookie head coach, new scheme on both sides of the ball. They're missing their 2 best edge rushers. And they stole that game. How about that? Pedro, man, thank you very much, man. He says NFC least, more like the NFC beast. Yeah, man. And we'll see how the Cowboys do tonight. Hopefully they lose. But Eagles, Washington got W's. Giants, the most impressive win, though, in my opinion. They went up against the most impressive opponent on the road. I know that the Eagles were on the road, but that's Detroit. There's a better football team. Mr. Mini Guy. Unfortunately, Daboll has to drive back to New York instead of flying. The airport won't let him travel. The airport won't let him travel carrying those massive bowls. Listen, man, I had to put that in the title of the stream. I just want to get this before I miss it. Stephen Lilly, thank you for being a member, man, for 33 months from across the pond. Always been such a great supporter of my channel. I know you're up late in the UK, and we're going to get back to Brian Daboll's bowls. Chris, 6 years ago, we saw us win opening day. So you now have to open Johnny Walker with Diamond Sex ringing. Your bell singing Sinatra in a very, I have no voice. I mean, I'm going to make it through the stream, but you're not going to see singing tonight, Stephen Lilly. I'll definitely have videos throughout the week. I'll probably have a live stream at some point this week for sure. I actually start a new job tomorrow. But I'll definitely have live streams throughout the week for sure. And I'll have some videos. I'm sure I'll have a video up tomorrow as well. Just kind of recapping everything, talking about the future of the season. But I'm just so pumped up, man. I'm so excited, and I'm glad you got to experience that tonight with everybody else. I don't have I normally do a victory shot. We're gonna do a victory chug. I got beer. I didn't have time to pick up the liquor today. So I will be getting a new bottle at some point this year, but we'll do a victory chug. We'll chug a beer at one point. But thank you so much. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. And normally I don't like to talk about men's bowls, but let's talk about the bowls on Brian Daboll. And if you were in the live stream with myself and Bad Dog, not that I'm bragging at all, but I talked about that as a topic because I was trying to think from the mind of a head coach when there was about 13 minutes left in the ball game. I said to Bad Dog, I said, if the Giants are down by 1 point with a minute to go in the game on the road, would you go for 2? I immediately said yes, because I looked at the Tennessee Titans. I looked at, it was on the road. They're a better football team than us. At least you have to feel that way going into the game. You have to take your shot there and try to win the game. The balls of Brian Daboll to make that decision in his first game as a head coach, whether he got it or not, I was excited. Joe Judge would have never made that decision. Joe Judge was scared to go for it from 4th and 1 on his opponent's 38. Brian Daboll, with the game in the balance, said, no, I'm going to win or lose the game right now. The balls on Brian Daboll. I love it. It's a fresh start. In today's NFL, you don't win games by being passive. You just don't. You don't win games by being passive. Brian Daboll took the Bulls by the horn, went for 2, and the New York Giants got it done. A little trickeration there with the little pitch to Saquon Barkley, and who better to get the game-winning play. And obviously, we got a little bit fortunate at the end. Not going to lie, 47-yard field goal. But regardless, man, it just felt like at that point we were going to find a way to win that football game. So tip your cap to Daboll. Tip your cap to the halftime adjustments that the New York Giants made, because in the first half, the offense looked completely flat. They looked like they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They couldn't block to save their lives. They got back to the ground attack, and they let Saquon Barkley do the work. So tip your cap. Brian Daboll, A+ for his first game against the Tennessee Titans. Teed, thank you so much. Can't see the game here in Florida, but watching you guys streaming, I sure did feel it. Celebrating the Giants pivot with a meatball parm, an ice glass for 3 of red, and a well-earned thanks to you. T, thank you so much. Glad that you enjoyed the stream. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for everybody else in the stream right now. I know you guys are just as excited as I am as a New York Giants fan. We haven't had a lot of good moments, and it's just obviously you got to be excited. It's a new regime, new head coach, and this year, I'm still gonna say it until such time this team proves that they're more than what I think they were going into the year. I'm not trying to set expectations way too sky high, even though obviously I'm raising the bar after this game. I'm still going to say it. I'm not setting a playoff expectations. I want this team to get better, but this is a very good step in the right direction. If for nothing else, Brian Daboll, you should have more confidence, at least a little bit, in him as a head coach after his debut game as a New York Giants head coach. Great start for him. Julie, man, thank you very much. What a game. We needed this. 1-0 sounds good. We haven't been 1-0 since 2016. And Julian, I said it. I've said it now, a bunch of times in my live streams, that I think the fan base's mindset on the season will change dramatically if we could ever win that first game. Not just because we're not accustomed to starting 1-0, but now you look at the Carolina Panthers. Carolina lost today, I think, against the Cleveland Browns. That's a winnable game. We all thought it was a winnable game before the year started. So you say to yourself, at home, If we can find a way to beat the Carolina Panthers, suddenly you're 2-0. And I know the Bears won today, but the Bears aren't great. They beat the 49ers, tip your cap, but they're a beatable team. You got them week 4 with Dallas mixed in the middle. And you say to yourself, maybe this team can get off to a pretty good start. And we got that 4-game window in the middle of the year that we all know about with obviously the Jaguars and the Lions and the Seahawks. So this was a game I didn't think they'd have a shot at winning, to be completely honest with you. A shot, but not a realistic shot going into the year. And to steal a game like this has to give you a bit more hope for this season. Manuel, man, thank you very much. Chris, I'm literally in Nashville right now. A lot of Giants fans here. Go Giants. More than half the state. That's awesome. If there's one city I want to go to, Nashville's up there for me. I've heard it's a great city. People have always told me that it's one of the better cities to visit. So maybe next time we play in Tennessee, I'll go to it. But that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you enjoyed the game. NY Giants 26 says Giants have a strong chance to start 2-0. Yeah, I mean, before this game, I think the Giants were a 1-point favorite. I actually looked at it before because I was just curious. Before the start of the first game today, I looked at week 2. I think we're a 1-point favorite. So it's a coin flip game, right? That's how Vegas sees it. Maybe it'll change a little bit after the New York Giants won today. We'll see. But, yeah, I don't think it's a game that I'm going to say we're definitely going to win. But it's certainly a game we got a good shot to pull up a W and get off to a 2-0 start, which would be something else. Something we're not used to. Rob, man, thank you very much, man. That was unbelievable. Our coach's name is Brian Daboll. Put respect on his name, dude. Love him so far. I'm not going to go crazy. It's one game, but so far, so good with Daboll, man. Loved it, man. He got me so excited when he went for that 2-point conversion. Whether he got it or whether he didn't, you got it. You got to go for it there. On the road, you got to go for it. Buck, man, thank you very much. This was my upset of the week. Let's go, Giants. I'm still fired up. Let's get into week 2. Sorry, Baker. Oh, we're kicking Baker's ass. We all know what Baker said about Daniel Jones and our football team. We're kicking his ass. Let's go out there. Let's get a win. Let's start 2-0. Julian says Saquon looked like he did his rookie year. Yeah, he looked just like his rookie year. You know, we all remember the first game he had as a New York Giant against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Came out, busted a couple of big runs. We were all super excited. The Eagle game that year, he had that, a couple of huge runs in that game. He broke the big screen pass. He's got it again. He's got that explosion. There was no dancing either. You hear a lot of people complaining over the last couple of years, and he's been dealing with injuries. That's part of the sport. He tore his ACL. You've heard a lot of people complaining about Saquon Barkley, dances too much, this, that, the other thing. Saquon Barkley, there was no dancing. He had his big runs. Don't get it twisted. He had his signature burst, right? But he had 3-4 plays in that game where he lowered the shoulder and he knocked a player on his ass. Saquon Barkley showed you everything you could possibly want in a running back today. He was great. He was fantastic. And yeah, people have asked me in the past, point to a game where Saquon Barkley won us the game. Well, he won us the game against the Chicago Bears. I think it is rookie year, single-handedly, pretty much. But this game, check it off. Saquon Barkley won us this football game, almost single-handedly on the offensive end. He was incredible. NY Giants 26, man, I'm sold that Barkley's back. He's back. Bill, man, thank you so, dude. You didn't have to do that, man. Bill, man, thank you very much, man. To all my fellow Giants fans, congrats on a great win. Cheers. Bill, man, thank you so much, man. Always tuning in the live streams. Always a great supporter on the channel. I appreciate it, man, and I'm happy for you. I'm happy for everybody else that we finally got this win, man. Thank you so much. Mike, stand up. This W beer is so refreshing. All right, Mike, you reminded me. I got to have my W beer. So this is to you, Mike. This is to Bill. This is to everybody else in the chat. Thank you to everybody. I'm going to try to down a 12-ounce beer. I think the last time I chugged a 12-ounce beer was probably on one of my live streams after the Giants got a win. So it's been a while. So maybe a little sloppy. But this one's for you. Soak it in, New York Giants fans. Thank you guys for all the support you always show on the channel. And I'm really excited for the rest of the season with you guys. And hopefully we get to experience a lot more highs than lows. So thank you to everybody. Saquon Barkley's back. Brian Daboll's the man. And I love this football team. Here you go, guys. Cheers to you. Bottoms up. And I'm drunk. No, I'm not drunk. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Oh, my God. Marcus, man, thank you very much. The NFL has a new best back, Barkley over Henry. Let's talk about, because we've obviously been talking a lot about Barkley. Let's talk about the job that the New York Giants defense did on Derrick Henry. We're going to pull up the stats right now. You know, Derrick Henry had maybe one or two big runs where he broke for about, 10, 15 yards, whatever it may be. But for the game, 21 carries, 82 yards. If you would have told me going into this game that the New York Giants were going to hold the Tennessee Titans as a team to under 100 yards on the ground, 93 yards as a team, 82 yards to Derrick Henry, and the Giants would have ran for 238 yards, I would have called you a lunatic. I would have said you're absolutely insane. They outgained them on the ground by 150 yards. On 32 carries, we averaged whatever it was. I mean, Saquon Barkley averaged 9 yards a carry by himself. Richie James had a couple of big catches. He did have a drop. I want to mention him as well. And, say what you want about Jones. Jones definitely struggled, right, with that one throw. That one throw nearly cost us the game. We start to get that momentum. We recover the punt. He throws the pick in the end zone. He can't do that. Cannot do that. But when he got the opportunity in the end, he had the game-winning drive. He got the touchdown, and we found a way to get a W. But the defense, you got to tip your cap, man. You got to tip your cap to the job that the New York Giants defense did overall in this football game with their two best edge rushers out. We know that we're not going to have a flawless defense this year, but the effort they put forward today to limit Derrick Henry in the fashion in which they did, you sign up for that every single time. So as great as Barkley was, and he deserves to be the headliner, in my opinion, him and Daboll, the defense needs to get their props too, especially with some of the guys that they had out today. For them to hold strong and keep Derrick Henry in check and not let him beat us down over the course of the game, that's pretty damn good. I'm going to take a look. I'm just curious. I haven't even looked at it. I'm curious to look at the time of possession. The New York Giants possessed the ball for 29 minutes, and the Titans had it for 31. So I knew we probably weren't going to win the time of possession in this game, which we didn't, but we kept it relatively close. The other thing I'm going to mention, the Titans, and I'm not taking anything away from the win from the Giants because they were great, right? They played as good as you could have hoped for. But the Titans play calling. What are you doing? You've got a 3rd and 1, and you're running a direct handoff to the tight end. You got Derrick Henry in your backfield. They had another instance 2 drives before that where it was a 3rd and 1. They do the Wildcat. Like, why get cute? So thank you, Tennessee Titans. In terms of your play calling, I thought it was way out of whack. So I'll mention that as well. But the defense did a phenomenal job today overall. Jay Stubbs, man, thank you very much. And we did most of our damage in the second half. One thing I'm going to say, and thank you, Jay Stubbs, I appreciate that. And yeah, we made halftime adjustments. The other thing I want to say, I will say, like, in terms of looking at it from things that we need to work on, Darnay Holmes. And I'll try to watch back the game again, and hopefully there's more. There's some old 22 film where you can watch it. But Darnay Holmes was getting cooked in the slot. Aaron Robinson didn't call his name a whole lot today. It didn't seem like he was horrible. He was a guy I was really worried about going in. But Darnay Holmes, at least from the way it looked throughout the game, he's got something to work on. He was getting cooked in the slot. Don Rose, man, thank you very much, man. I like Dave's held DJ at Cannell after the pick. That's a great call too. Should have mentioned that. Right, we all saw that on the TV after the fact. He was lighting in to Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones may need that, right? So I love that in my head coach, man. You got to give him tough love. I love that in my head coach. So yes, great point by you, and they were showing that, and that's inexcusable. During the live streams, I try not to rag on my players the best I can because I'm a Giants fan. I'm rooting for my team to succeed, but that throw was indefensible. You can't make a throw like that in a spot like that. You got to throw that ball out of bounds. You got to take the 3 points. So, yeah, that was great to see Brian Daboll light into him, and hopefully it's something that Jones builds on and improves over the course of the year. Simon, thank you very much. Giants are better than the Packers now. Relax. Relax. Week 1, we're better than the Packers. Week 1, we're better than the Packers. I'll give you that. Michael Judge says, what I tell you, Chris, just have to believe that was straight magic. Dude. I didn't see it coming. I'll tell you that right now. You guys saw my prediction. I said 24-17. Didn't love the matchup. I wouldn't have been surprised, honestly, if we lost by 14, 17. And you saw it in the first half. It kind of was playing out how I thought it would in the first half, and then they flipped the switch. Barkley put this team on his back. But, dude, magic is right, and hopefully the Giants could build some momentum and find a way to beat Carolina and start 2-0. And then suddenly you're looking at 2 more home games in a row, right? We got 3 straight home games. Carolina, the Cowboys, and obviously the Chicago Bears. But it's one game at a time. But next week's a huge game now, because if you could start 2-0, even with that really tough, double dip there between the Packers and obviously the Ravens, you say, all right, if we could even split between the Cowboys and the Bears, we could get out of our first 6 at 3-3. And then you'll get that 4-game sample size. Even the most pessimistic Giant fan, if we're like relatively healthy, at worst, we should go 2-2 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Detroit Lions, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Houston Texans. So if you can find a way to win 3 out of those 4 there, you're looking at 6-4 after 10 games. So it's one game at a time. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but the schedule sets up well for the Giants, especially if they can find a way to win their second game. And then after after that 4-game stretch, then you got the divisional matchups. But as a Giants fan, you should be excited if you could get to the divisional games with an opportunity to play meaningful football, because then who knows what could happen. So one game at a time, but it definitely changes I think the overall outlook on the season for Giants fans, where now I don't got to come on here every week. Listen, I'm a Giants fan. I love my team to death. Okay. And I always say it, I'm biased. I'm a Giants fan. You're not going to get the most unbiased perspective. I try to be as unbiased as I possibly can. I've tried to be more unbiased as I've been, on YouTube longer and longer, but I'm always biased. I'm rooting for my team to go 17-0 every year. And I was dreading having to come on here every week to talk about, how did Anthony Richardson do with the Florida Gators? How did, CJ Stroud do? I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the New York Giants. I want to talk about how this team's progressing, how this team's improving. And to get off to a 1-0 start, I'm ecstatic. I want to continue to talk about this team playing well, and hopefully they find a way to beat the Carolina Panthers week 2, and we start to build some momentum. But it feels good to get a win week 1. That's for damn sure. Jonathan, man, thank you very much, man. Giants wide receiver simply can't be trusted. Can't say the O-line was the issue. They weren't great, but Richie James and Shep made plays. Those guys didn't. I say we run and run and run some more to get some wins. Well, we're going to open up the offense this year, Jonathan. I did think we were going to run a lot more earlier on in the year, but when I looked at this Titans matchup, I didn't know if we were going to be able to do that effectively because of the things that I've said. I'm blown away that we were able to do it. Tip your cap to Saquon Barkley. But I do think as they get more accustomed to the scheme, you're really going to start to see them open up this offense. The one question I have coming out, and I haven't had an opportunity to hear from Brian Daboll, I'm sure he was asked it, I would assume, what was the deal with Toney? I could only assume that Kadarius Toney was still a little bit banged up, right? He hasn't played in the preseason games, and he was a go in this game. And Toney actually made a couple of good plays, right? That one huge play by Kadarius Toney where I got the hiccup, sorry, where the Giants called for him to throw the touchdown, or it looked like it was a design play to David Sills, for him to tuck that down and not only run and not lose 5 yards, because he was 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage by the time the defense got to him. He was able to gain 5 yards. So that was like a 10-yard swing. And then he also had that other big run for about 19 or 20 yards on an end around. So Kadarius Toney, even though he was limited in this game, wasn't used a ton, had a couple of really big plays in key moments for this New York Giants football team today. But that's a question. If I'm a reporter, I'm definitely asking Daboll after the game, and maybe it was already, I'm sure it already was asked, but I'm curious to hear what it was. But I could only assume it was he's probably not fully recovered, and maybe the New York Giants were using him as a decoy for the majority of the game and kind of had him on a pitch count. But excited to see him out there more this year in this offense. Connor, man, thank you very much, man. Why do you think Toney wasn't getting playing time? There you go. Speak of the devil. James played good, but Toney needs to be out there. That what I just said, Connor. I didn't see your donation before, but that's the only logical explanation for me. I don't think that the New York Giants brain trust thinks that Richie James is a better wide receiver than Kadarius Toney. I think that the Giants smartly, because they didn't want the Tennessee Titans to be able to game plan for them without Kadarius Toney, did not tip their hand. They did not say throughout the week that Kadarius Toney's going to be limited. We're not going to play him a lot of snaps. But it makes sense, right? Because he hasn't played throughout the preseason, like I said. So the Giants, I think, kind of used him a bit as a decoy and wanted to keep Tennessee guessing. I think that's probably the reason. That would be my guess. I expect to see Toney out there more probably next week against the Carolina Panthers, but they probably didn't feel like he was a full go. That would be my guess. I don't expect Richie James to be getting more snaps than Kadarius Toney when Kadarius Toney's 100%. So that would be my line of reasoning. Bob, man, thank you very much. I love how Daboll's called DJ out for his pick. Yeah, I agree, Bob. I agree. You love to see it, and it was great optics seeing him out there on the sideline. His first game as a head coach, he's got to be nervous. This guy's never been a head coach in his life, to my knowledge. I think he was an offensive coordinator with Alabama, and then obviously was an offensive coordinator with the Buffalo Bills. So he's got to be nervous, right? Certainly he's never been a head coach at the NFL level. And for him to show that, as a Giants fan, you love to see it. You hold your players accountable. You show them some tough love. And Daniel Jones and the offense bounced back, and they did what they needed to do. People have asked me before, what does Jones need to do this year? And again, I'm not excusing what he did today. He did not play great. He had the big pass to Sterling Shepard, for sure. I almost give more credit to Saquon Barkley for that than Daniel Jones, if I'm being honest, because the Tennessee Titans had to overcommit to the run by the way that Saquon Barkley was playing, which opened up the opportunity for a one-on-one passing opportunity to Sterling Shepard, but regardless, made a good throw. But he got the job done when the New York Giants needed it. They got a game-winning drive, a game-winning touchdown pass by Daniel Jones. He had the big run as well on the bootleg, right? The 4th and 1, the bootleg rollout, was able to push forward and get those 2 or 3 yards. So hopefully this is something to build off of, and hopefully those are mistakes that we don't continue to see in key moments. But he certainly has a lot more growing to do as a quarterback, but I'm just glad that we got the win, and I'm glad that DJ was the quarterback for the game-winning drive today, because he needs moments like that this year. He needs to grow as a quarterback. So it was nice to see the New York Giants, finding a way to get a game-winning drive. Ian, man, thank you very much, man. Everyone was hating on Saquon and saying he's washed up and won't come back to his original potential. I knew that wasn't the case. Stand up! Ian, if you watch my channel, and I don't care. I know full well that a lot of Giants fans hate Saquon Barkley. I don't want to use the word hate Saquon Barkley, but they want to get rid of Saquon Barkley. And I understand it. He's a running back. They have short shelf lives. They also attach him to Dave Gettleman. We all agree at this point in time he was not the wisest pick at number 2 overall, or most of us do. But I've always backed Saquon. I'm wearing his jersey right now. Where's jersey during the game? I've always backed Saquon Barkley. I've always thought that Saquon Barkley has had bad luck with injuries. When Saquon Barkley's 100%, there are very few running backs and very few playmakers in the NFL that are as dynamic and as important as he is. And I only think he's going to, like you said, get back to his 2018 form as the course of this year. I came out with a bold prediction on Twitter. A lot of people laughed at it. 2 months before the start of the year, I said I think Saquon Barkley's going to have 2,000 scrimmage yards. And if he stays on the field, I think he is. I think Saquon Barkley's going to have a huge year. Everything points to it. Last year, I thought it was mental. I thought he needed another year of recovery. Now he's 2 years removed from the ACL. He's in a more friendly offensive scheme with Brian Daboll, and he's in a contract year. All signs point to Saquon Barkley having a mega year. I don't think that this is going to be a one-off. I think Saquon Barkley is going to continue to be the driving force of this New York Giants offense this year. I don't think this is a one-game thing. I'm not telling you he's going to run for 165 yards every week, but he's going to have a big year. I really believe that. I think this is only going to continue. But Ian, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. Adam, man, thank you very much. Lots of bad to clean up, but the important thing is we finished. After the 2 holds, I was like, same old BS, but we actually came through. Huge win. Of course, there's lots to clean up, Adam. But at the same time, Adam, I can tell you that this is a game we should have never won. This is a game where we were missing Azeez Ojulari. This is a game where we were missing Kayvon Thibodeau. This is a game where we were basically missing Kadarius Toney. And it's Brian Daboll's first game as a head coach. For the New York Giants to be able to show the resiliency to even stay in this game after they came out looking as lethargic as they did over the first half of this football game tells you a lot about this team, tells you a lot about this head coach. So I think as a Giants fan, of course, there's limitations on this team. We all know that. This team's starting nobody's at middle linebacker. Aaron Robinson's a slot receiver playing on a slot corner rather playing on the outside. We know we have limitations. We know we have injury-prone players. But this team went out there today. They gave you everything they had. And as a Giants fan, that's all I could ask for. So I'm excited. Soak it in. Sean, man, thank you very much. Let's go, baby. Stand up. New York Giants fans. Saquon's back, brother. You're damn right he is, Sean. Super excited for Saquon Barkley, and I hope that this continues this year, man. Jonathan says, I love Daboll's balls. not literally, but figuratively, I'm in complete agreement with you, Jonathan. Love him. And Mr. Lopez says, I would have lived with it if we didn't convert. That's exactly what I said on stream. And I listen, Mr. Lopez, you know when I say that, and that 90% of people, if they get it wrong, if they don't get it, are going to call me an idiot for saying that they should have went for 2. That was my honest opinion. I said, if Daboll does not go for this, I disagree with the decision. I said, you got to go for it there. You got a minute 06 to go in the game. You're on the road in Tennessee. You're an inferior football team. Your best chance there, in my opinion, Lopez, is to win it right there and then. To go for 2, and you're either win it or lose it right there. And obviously, we still needed the defense to come up with a stop, and they didn't really get a stop. We got lucky with the missed field goal, but I think that was the proper decision, whether or not they converted it or not. We saw too many times last year that Joe Judge was way too passive in big moments like that, and I'm glad to see that we have a coach that, in my opinion, is more in sync with modern day NFL. You can't be as passive as the New York Giants were last year, regardless of the limitations of your offense, and win football games. You see it all around the NFL. I say it all the time. You saw Washington last year with Taylor Heineke at quarterback, going for it on 4th and 2 from their own 48 on primetime football. You can't be as passive as the New York Giants were last year and win football games. CB, man, thank you very much. Love Daboll dropping his nuts on the table with the 2-point conversion. But what I loved even more was him giving it to Jones on the sideline after the pick. Great call. He's going to get the most out of him, unlike Jason Garrett. Man, I sure hope so, man. I said before the year started, I think this will be Daniel Jones' best year as a pro. I don't necessarily know or even think, if I'm being completely honest, that it will be enough for him to stay on as the New York Giants quarterback. I hope he does. I'm rooting for him. But he has the best support system he's had since he's been a New York Giant, in my opinion. When you factor in the offensive coordinator, when you factor in the addition of Evan Neal, when you factor in CB, in my opinion, this is really the first year where Daniel Jones has Saquon Barkley, right? In his rookie year, Saquon Barkley got hurt his debut start against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was never really himself after that year, outside of the last 2 or 3 games. The next year, he gets hurt week 2 against Chicago Bears, tears his ACL. And last year, we could all agree, especially after seeing him today, that he was not himself. So this is the first year that he's had the real Saquon Barkley. He now has Kadarius Toney, year 2 in the NFL. He's got same thing with Kenny Golladay, year 2, and he's got the best scheme he's played in since he's been in the NFL. So I think it all aligns for him to play better this year. I don't know if that's going to be enough for him to stay on, but I think he will be better this year. Thomas, man, thank you very much. He says, it's clear that this team isn't super talented, but this game showed that Daboll has this team fighting, and there is different energy this year, and I'm loving every bit of it. In Daboll, we trust. I mean, you have no choice, Thomas, but to trust Brian Daboll. And there's going to be games where we're going to hate him. It's going to happen. But so far, so good. He's off to a good start. We're 1-0. And what really stood out to me were the halftime adjustments and his willingness to put his balls on the line to go for that 2-point conversion his debut start. I love it. He didn't do any outlandish decisions. He didn't go for it on 4th and 4 from his own 38. He didn't do anything stupid like that. But I think then it was the proper decision to go for it. And I love to see it because I don't think Joe Judge would have done that. I really don't. Steve Marks, man, thank you very much for the $2 donation, man. I appreciate it, buddy. We need Lemieux back. We could definitely use Lemieux back. Our guard play today, specifically at that spot in the first half, was horrible. You know, the Daniel Jones fumble, a lot of people in the stream were putting on that on Daniel Jones, and I understand he has a reputation for having fumbling problems. That wasn't on Daniel Jones. That was on the guard. He literally gave up pressure within a half a second. Within a half a second, you cannot allow an interior defensive lineman to hit your quarterback. Daniel Jones had his back to the ball, and he got hit before he even finished his drop back. Our guard position is horrible. And it's just really bad. I think it's going to continue to be a problem this year, but hopefully it gets better. But Ben Bredesen, and especially in that first half, was really bad at pass protection. Silly Parody, stand the F up. Pete Carroll, call those TN plays. Yeah, exactly, Silly. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And Simple Eli says, Giants actually played to win. Let's go. And we're not used to that. We're not used to that, Simple Eli. And I'm so happy that they did. Vince says, what a win. Odds on Aziz and Tibbs week 2. Yeah, let's talk about that. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I don't work from within the New York Giants field office, so this is just me guessing. I would guess that Azeez stands a better chance to play than Thibodeau. But again, I don't know. I don't know the full details, right? But the reason I say that is when Thibodeau got hurt, the way they made it sound, it was probably going to, on the safe end, going to be week 3 or week 4 by the time he got back. And I think the Giants with Thibodeau are going to be as safe as possible. I don't think they're going to rush him back. They realize this is a long-term thing. You know, I know we all are anxious to see Thibodeau. Listen, I was one of the first guys to buy his jersey. Couldn't wait. We're all anxious to see him. But the Giants recognize that Kayvon Thibodeau, it's not about 2022. It's about 2032. This is a guy that is going to be in the plans long-term for this New York Giants football team, and they don't want to rush him out there and potentially risk damaging his body even more so than they already have. So I think they're going to wait till he's completely 100%, and I think that's the right decision. If we lose next week because of that, we lose. You can't risk damaging the future to help the present. That's my opinion on Kayvon Thibodeau, and I think the New York Giants will take that same approach. So I'm going to bet, if I was a betting man, Kayvon Thibodeau's not playing next week. I think Azeez Ojulari, there's a better chance. Would I be shocked if Thibodeau plays? No, but he's got to be 100%. Vin, man, thank you very much. I just answered that actually. V-Rock says, think of how big coach's decision have on the team when they've told you you could do this. We believe in you. Once again, winning builds culture. Yeah, of course. You know, we all bought into Joe Judge. And let's be honest, V-Rock. But I don't want to say all, because I'm sure there's people in the chat that are saying as soon as I say that, I never believed in Joe Judge. I always thought he was a fraud. But most of us believed in Joe Judge. And the main reason we believed in Joe Judge, we wanted hope. But the fact of the matter is, when you coach the way in which Joe Judge did, and you bring about that New England Patriots culture, if you don't win, you're gonna fail miserably. The players are not gonna buy into a hard-ass coach when you're not winning football games. So at the end of the day, the only culture that's successful is a winning one. Period. End of story. And hopefully we continue to build off of this. I think the majority of the fans still kind of think the way I do. Even though I want to be with you guys that think that this team's going to the playoffs and can compete for a Super Bowl, I think the majority of fans still recognize that this is a process, that this team is not going to just turn it all around in 1 year. And I hope they do. I pray to God I'm wrong. And that's good, in my opinion, that the overall fan base feels that way, because you don't want to go in with unrealistic expectations, because at the end of the day, I don't want to keep flipping head coaches. I want to give these guys an opportunity. The main reason why I got behind getting rid of Joe Judge had a lot more to do with the fact that I knew we were getting rid of Dave Gettleman, and I didn't want to prevent the New York Giants from bringing in the best possible GM that they could. And there was no way you're going to force Joe Judge on an outsider GM. It just wasn't going to happen. So that was the main reason why I wanted to move on from him. But I want Daboll and Shane to build something. I want them to build something together. And I think as a fan base and as an organization, talking to John Mara, you got to have some patience during the process. Joshua Cohen, thank you very much. I can't believe we won. It felt like we were down by 30 in the first half. I agree, Joshua. Watching that game, I felt like I was going to fall asleep the first half in terms of the offense. It was the defense actually surprised me a bit. I'm like, all right, they're actually doing a pretty good job against Henry. But then, to be completely honest with you, Joshua, even towards the end of that first half, you started to see Henry get it going, right? He had like 56, 57 yards at the end of the first half. And then if I'm not mistaken, Joshua, I'd have to go back and look at the play-by-play on ESPN. I think he opened up the first half with a big run. Matter of fact, I'm going to look right now and see if I'm right on that, because he had like 56, 57 yards at halftime. And then the first drive in the second half, I'm pretty sure he had a big run, right? Only 2 yards. I don't know why I thought he had a big run. Okay, so I was wrong on that. Oh, no, there it is. He had an 18-yard run, his second carry in the first half. So when you think about it, think about this. Derrick Henry, I think it was 56 yards in the first half, maybe 57. Add those 18 yards. That's 75 yards, right? So basically, Derrick Henry finished with 81 yards. You take his first half rushing total, 57. You add that one carry of 18 yards, which occurred on the first drive of the second half. He had 6 yards rushing other than that throughout the rest of the second half. That's insane. New York, and maybe some of that falls on the play calling of the Tennessee Titans, but the New York Giants did a phenomenal job of really locking him up in the second half. And that is as much of a reason why we won this game as anything else. But yeah, it definitely felt that way. Steve Marks, thank you very much. Our ceiling just shot up to 10-7. I had our ceiling at 10-7 at the beginning of the year. But that's if everything breaks right. And part of everything breaking right is Daniel Jones becoming a very good quarterback. I had our floor at about 5. I had our ceiling at about 10, and I had us winning 7. But hopefully we hit our ceiling, man. Hopefully we hit our ceiling. Frank, man, thank you very much, man. What an effing game. These players just beat the number 1 AFC team from last season. This should give these players a lot of confidence. Daboll coached to win, and the players and the fans love that. You have to. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be consistent, Frank. If he, within reason, if it's a bonehead decision, that's different. If he goes for a 4th and 3 on his own 37-yard line in the second quarter, that's different. But in a similar circumstance, if he does that and we don't get it, I'm going to back him. You have to play to win in today's NFL, especially when you have a team like the New York Giants. We're not the Kansas City Chiefs. We're not the Buffalo Bills. We know we don't have the most talent when we step on the field. So when you have an opportunity, especially on the road, to win the football game and decide the football game, you got to take that chance. So he could fail at times. I'm going to back him for it. So I was really happy when he decided to make that decision. NY Giants 26, man. Thank you very much. LPG said Wandell is okay. That's great news. Of course, there was, I don't remember what the word was on that, but he sustained some kind of injury during the game. So that's great news. Hopefully he's ready to go next week. He wasn't much of a factor today, obviously due to the injury. And I think it's, I always call you Wolves, but Wolves, we're going to the Super Bowl. Relax. You need to take a sip of beer like me right now. Relax. I'm overreacting like you guys. I'll be the first to say it, but I'm trying to contain my overreaction. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm picking us next week. I got to start in 2-0. So I'm overreacting, but I'm trying to contain the overreaction. I don't want to set the expectation sky high, but relax. BX Universe says Mets and Giants win. Braves lose today. Oh, they did lose. Yeah, I obviously didn't get a chance. I know they were up 7-1 and then, or 6-1, whatever it was. And then they came back and took the lead. And then I know that Seattle at least tied it. So the Mariners beat them. Great. We got a 1.5 game lead with 21 games to go. So great news for both my teams. I'm a Met fan. I know the Yankees won today too. Obviously the majority of the people in here are probably Yankee fans, but Mets and Yankees starting to win again. Hopefully they can keep it up. Formula Fitness says good things happen when you don't play scared. Let's blanking go. Not always. I'll circle back to a game, Formula Fitness, when we played Washington with Ron Rivera. I think it was Rivera's first year, so Judge's first year, the year we won 6 games. Rivera went for 2. And he got widely criticized for it because they didn't get it. So it doesn't always work, but you got to show faith in your team, and Daboll did, and I'm glad that he did, and I'm glad that the New York Giants pulled through. I think it was a good play call as well. But thanks, man. I appreciate it, buddy. Let's see. Riverboat Ron, right? That's his nickname because he takes chances. And Peter, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation, man. I appreciate it. Henny got in the chat. I want to shout some of you guys out, man. The chat is, you guys are awesome, man. Blowing this stream up the whole time. Charles in the chat, James in the chat, Pumpkin in the chat, Heel in the chat, James Peralta in the chat, Tate Crowder. That was a nasty hit. It really was. During the game, the Giants were kind of getting their asses kicked at that point. And I was like, what is he celebrating for? He got 4 or 5 yards. But then when I saw the replay, I was like, yeah, he lit him up. And whenever you light Derrick Henry up like that, you're going to celebrate a little bit. And let's see. JL says, cheers, long-time listener. Saquon is back. Thank you so much, JL, man. I appreciate it. I'm with you, man. I think Saquon's all in, buddy. Goblin says, and thank you, man. Goblin says, we won. I love you, Chris. This is it. We did it. I love all you guys. I'm just as excited for you guys as, I'm more excited for you guys than me. You guys support my channel through the darkest of times when it comes to New York Giants football. So it makes it even more special for me as a Giants fan when they do win, because I'm excited, not just for myself, but for all my supporters on the channel, all the support you guys always show. And you guys have been through dark times, as have I with this football team, but getting a win like this feels really good to start off the season. So I'm ecstatic for all of you guys. Julian says that hit Tayad on Henry. Yeah. Yep. Somebody just said it, Julian. But yeah, when I saw that replay in real time, I was like, was it worth celebrating over? But then when I saw the replay, I'm like, yeah, he lit him up a little bit. Pandemonium says, shout out to DJ, only 4 incompletions, Jonestown baby. Hey, man, listen. Daniel Jones made one horrible pass, and that is not good, right? One horrible pass like that could cost you football games. But overall, he played all right today. I'm not going to say he played great, He kind of matched, at least statistically, what I thought he would do going into the game. I think I said on my stream last night, I thought he'd throw two touchdowns. I thought maybe a little bit more in terms of the yardage. I probably thought like 220, 230, but I thought he was going to be able to take advantage of these corners. He didn't really get an opportunity to do that because the running game was working so effectively that we stayed committed to the run. We ran the ball 32 times. We only passed it 21. And that's obviously because of Saquon Barkley. It's a good thing that we didn't have to throw more than that. That means that we were able to run the ball very effectively. So he did the job. He did what he needed to do at the end of the game. Of course, had we not scored that touchdown, people would have been looking at that interception, right, the drive before, but he got the job done. We got to win. And we need a lot more of those if he's going to stay on as the New York Giants quarterback. Corey, man, what's going on? He says, what's up, Chris? Stand up. You got to love the wins that everyone counts on you to lose. Hopefully, Daboll's new aggressive play calling continues to take Big Blue to new heights. Cheers, my friend. Thank you so much, Corey. Yeah, I mean, like, Corey, off the top of my head, since I've been on YouTube, I'm trying to think of, like, the biggest upsets that we've had. The Seattle game, for sure, stands out. You got the Chicago Bears game, the year that they went, like, 12-4, I think it was, when they had the missed kick in the playoffs. We beat them that year. Obviously, that was one of Barkley's signature games. I think those are the two biggest upsets since I've been on YouTube. I don't know if I would rank it as high as either one of those, but it's pretty close. Especially factoring in all the players that we had out and the fact that it was Daboll's first game as a head coach. It's pretty close, man. It's definitely one of the top 3 or 4 wins since I've been on YouTube for sure. So exciting times, man, to start a season like that. So soak it in, Corey, man, and congratulations. Let's see. Dart says, wait till our edge rushers get back. D solid. Yeah, I listen, we're all excited about that too, right? Kayvon Thibodeau is obviously the player we're most excited about as Giants fans this year. Obviously, you guys know I love Evan Neal too, but I'm most excited about Kayvon Thibodeau to see what he could do on the defensive end. And yeah, hopefully we get him inserted back into the lineup this week. If not, hopefully against Dallas. But I'm really excited to see him and Ojulari go at it. It's only going to make this defense that much better. It should help Leonard Williams. It should help everybody else in this defense in terms of getting after the quarterback. Wink was ultra aggressive today, wasn't he? He didn't care, right? He had at the end of that game, he blitzed Xavier McKinney, I want to say 3 or 4 straight times from the same spot on the field. He's like, I'm going to make Tannehill beat me. So you're going to see that this year. And there's going to be times as Giants fans, you're going to be pulling your hair out. You're going to be like, how do you, I think there was a play where it was 1st and 20 or 2nd and 20, it might have been. And they picked up a 28-yard gain because we sent like 9 guys. Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating a bit, but we sent the house. And there's going to be times where you're going to be pulling your hair out because of that. That's the nature of the beast with this defense. But we were aggressive today, and make no mistake about it. And for the most part, it paid off. Steve Marks, man, thank you very much, man. Giants are atop the NFL. We're in a 15-way tie. There was a tie today. At the end of the NFL week 1, we're going to be in a 15-way tie for first place. What's better than that? Blue collar, that 2 or 3 yards Tannehill lost getting to the I didn't even think about. I mean, I said it during the live stream, Blue collar. I said that could cost him, but I didn't even think about that. Maybe he tried to kick it a little bit harder than he would have had it been, 3 yards closer than it was. It's a good point you bring up. Good call. 2 or 3 yards closer, it goes through the uprights. Feels good. Good point. I didn't even think about that. Good point. And Blue Collar, man, thank you for all the support you always show on the channel. Good call by you. Let's see. Jeremy's World says, I'm so happy right now. We beat Derrick Henry without Aziz and Kayvon. Imagine with them. Hope Saquon stays healthy. Then we'll re-sign him to be the future running back. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not saying we're definitely re-signing Saquon. I obviously understand that he's a running back. He wasn't drafted by Shane. It's a position that is not the most valuable, right? Tackle, quarterback. But I do see it. I do see a scenario where Saquon Barkley's back with the New York Giants. I think it's more likely he's back if Jones is not, because then you have a rookie quarterback and you say to yourself, he's a guy that can help the progression of a young quarterback, having a weapon like that in the offense. If you have to pay Jones, well, obviously you're probably not going to pay Saquon, right? So we'll see. That's something we'll talk about at the end of the season after we see how Saquon plays and Jones plays. We got 16 more games to go. But if Saquon's going to stay healthy this year and he plays like he did week 1, he's getting paid. It's a question of who's going to pay him. But he played great today, man. I'm just happy for Saquon. See what we got. Ben. Daboll said Toney was fully healthy, but the offense has multiple personnel packages. Okay, so there you go. Multiple personnel packages, and we just didn't get to the ones that involve Kadarius Toney. That's interesting. That surprises me. I don't know. Maybe that is completely true. Maybe he was not banged up at all, and he was 100% healthy. I'm just happy we got the win, but that surprises me if that's completely true, because you would think Toney's going to be one of the most featured wide receivers in this offense, and I don't have the snap counts in front of me, but I can't imagine his snap count was higher than 10 to 15 snaps today. So that surprises me for sure. Maybe the Giants felt like he didn't have enough experience in the scheme due to the fact that he missed a lot of time during training camp and preseason because he's been banged up. Maybe that has something to do with it, even if he's 100%. They felt like Richie James was more prepared for week one from within the scheme. But I have to assume that Toney's going to have a much bigger role in this offense as the year progresses. But regardless, we got the win, and he got out of there healthy. Wyatt, man, thank you very much, man. What a great way to start off the Daboll era. Cannot wait to watch this team grow with y'all, man. Can't wait, man, and hopefully they grow a lot quicker than a lot of us anticipated before the year started. Trent, man, he says, Saquon said F everybody, and he wasn't kidding. Yeah, I saw that interview. It was great. I forgot the name of the YouTube channel, but I think they were like his buddies from when he grew up. I watched that interview like 3 times. It's like a half hour long. And yeah, man, he put his money where his mouth was today for sure, man. And I think he put Giants fans and NFL fans on notice. I'm ready to rock. Donovan says, saw a great tweet on Twitter. No other fan base understands how valuable 1-0 is for the Giants. They just don't. That's a fact. 2016 is the last time we've been over 500 since the year started, right? So that's a fact. The last time we were 500, well, after we played a few games, I think was Daniel Jones' rookie year, which was 2019. We were 2-2. Jones won his first 2 starts. But this is the first time we've been over 500, I think, since 2016. So, and the first time we've been 1-0. Well, obviously, because that's over 500. First time we've been 1-0, I think, since 2016. So, yeah, I think we all understand the value in that. It gives you a lot more hope for the remainder of the season. Christian says, Jones played okay, got to clean things up, gutsy win. Exactly. I don't think anybody's going to come out of this win saying Daniel Jones gave me a lot more confidence that he could be the franchise quarterback of this team for the next 10 years. But he did what he needed to do when the game was on the line. That's the way I look at it. You could argue would have costed us the game, the drive before that, but he got another opportunity and he did what he needed to do. He had the big run on the 4th and 1, and then he had the touchdown pass. So, and the 2-point conversion. Let's not forget that. Obviously, Saquon Barkley, I think, deserves just as much, if not more, credit for that play, but he converted on some big plays down the stretch. Cini, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation, man. I appreciate it, buddy. And Dylan is cool, says we're undefeated. Let's go. We're 1-0. We're 1-0, Dylan, man. Let's keep it rolling, buddy. Shawnee, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you to everybody again for being here. I'm going to hang out with you guys for a bit. M1 Giants 26, check Twitter now. You added me? All right, let me take a quick look real quick. Let me see what you said to me. I'll try my best. Got a lot of people at me. Let me see if I can find you. Still looking. If I find it, I'll let you know, man. I still haven't found it, but I've literally gone through like 8 apps in the last 17 minutes. Oh, there we go. Let's see what you said. Oh, all right. Yeah, let's show this to the chat. You guys will appreciate this if you haven't seen it. I haven't gotten a chance to watch this yet, but I can already tell it's going to be awesome. Let's do this. Share screen. Turn the volume up.
To celebrate, and as you said, trying to change the culture there.
Look at Brian Daboll. That's awesome, man. What is Brian Daboll? What is he rapping? What is he do? A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I can't imagine seeing some of the former Giant coaches doing that.
I love this guy. Let's go. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it, man. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to see that, so thank you. Will says, what are your impressions of Neal today? He missed a couple of key blocks at times. I know there was, but he's a rookie. But there was that one play, I think it got blown up in the backfield where I think it was Simmons just went right around him on the inside. And I think it was a run play. It might have been a pass play. It was like a 5 or 6 yard. I think it was a run play. It was like a 5 or 6 yard loss where they just blew it up in the backfield. So I'm, again, not going to be able to really tell unless I, watch all 22 film and watch people break it down and really go over how he played. But I didn't get the overall feeling that he was horrible. But there was like a couple of plays where it was pretty evident that, he got beat. But you expect that. He's a rookie in his first game. So I think he's only going to get better. I think he's going to improve as the year goes along. Let's put it this way, Will. I don't think, and if I recall, I actually think Andrew Thomas was pretty good his first start against the Steelers, and then he kind of tailed off a lot. I didn't get that feeling, right? Where Andrew Thomas really struggled between probably games like 2 and 8 during his rookie year. I didn't get that feeling from Evan Neal in this game, but there were definitely a couple of plays where he got beat, pretty easily, I thought. But overall, he played okay. For me, the biggest issue was the interior line more so than the tackle play. And Andrew, man, thank you very much. He says, unbelievable. Let's go, Andrew, man. Thank you very much, buddy. Zeke, he says, yo, my guy, I told you, bro. Playoff run starts today. Let's go. Zeke's been with me forever. Great supporter. Happy for him. I know you told me you went to training camp with your kids, so I'm glad that you got to enjoy the win today with him, and hopefully keep it up, man. And Zeke, man, thank you very much. Sinor, what's up, Sinor? I know you guys look good today. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to watch your game. Sinor's been with me forever, the special teams commentator. I know you guys, let me take a quick look. You guys were kicking ass when I looked at halftime. You guys won 24-19, so the Raiders came back. They made it a game. But regardless, that's a good win, right? So congratulations on your win. I think the Chargers are one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the AFC. I think they're really good. I'd have you. I'd have the Broncos, the Bills for sure. I think the Bills are 1 for me. And then I'd probably have the Chargers 2. The Broncos are right there for me also, though. And then you got to still respect the Chiefs. So I'd have those 4 teams as the top teams off the top of my head. Ian, man, thank you very much. Yes, Joe, the headsets work. Love the gutsy call. And Dave's playing to win. There was fight. We should be better with Tibbs and Aziz. It wasn't pretty. Let's go. Hey, man, a win's as pretty as it gets. Wins as pretty as it gets. I don't care how ugly the win is. You win, it's pretty. So it was pretty. Dan, man, thank you very much. I unfortunately skipped live streams during the game. Prefer to watch it on TV. Completely understandable. But your content during the season is awesome. Go G, man. Dan, man, I appreciate it, dude. I'll definitely have a video up tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to do my normal midday streams that I like to do. I have so much fun doing those. I'm starting a new job tomorrow, which is going to kind of be a 9 to 5. I'm not sure what time I'm going to be back tomorrow because it's actually my first day. I'm going into Jamaica, Queens. So we'll see. But I'm definitely going to do live streams throughout the year, and I'll definitely have some videos. I don't know if I'll have a video out in the morning because I got to be up at 6 a.m. But I'll definitely have a video out for you guys at some point tomorrow, just further recapping today's game and talking about, the future of the season. And Dan, man, I really appreciate it, buddy. Steve Mark says, love we were playing to win the game, not just to lose it. Yeah, Steve, I think like last year, that's what annoyed me more than anything else is I felt like we were playing not to lose it. And I'm not even just talking about the QB sneak on 3rd and whatever it was. I'm talking about the from start to finish last year. There were so many instances where I'm like, they're playing not to lose. They're not playing to win. So it's refreshing. And I think a lot of Giants fans are excited about that. Cairo, man, thank you very much. Chris, where do we finish? I think 2nd. Oh, man. For me, it's way too early to give you guys like a real concrete prediction on where I think we'll finish. And injuries are such a factor in the NFL. But in terms of talent, listen, anything can happen. We play a really soft schedule. Anything can happen if we could stay healthy, something the Giants don't typically do. So hopefully we can. And we also don't typically start 1-0. So maybe this is a sign of things to come. Washington looked pretty good today, I suppose. Obviously, I didn't watch the majority of that game. I had the Eagles game on where I live, so I didn't get to see most of it. They beat the Jaguars. I know Wentz threw 4 touchdowns. We're yet to see the Cowboys. But I don't think the Cowboys are great this year. I've said that time and time again, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants beat the Cowboys week 3. I really wouldn't. Even if we lost today, I would say that. I'm not saying I'm picking us, but I wouldn't be shocked if we beat them. They're missing their left tackle, who, in my opinion, is the second most important player in that offense after Dak Prescott. Tyron Smith, arguably the best left tackle in the NFL. Zeke's a year older. Obviously, they lost Amari Cooper, who's probably their best well-rounded wide receiver in their receiving core. Michael Gallup's probably going to be out that week. And if he's going to play, he's not going to probably be a full go. And I personally think the Dallas defense overachieved last year. They led the league in turnovers last year. I don't think they're doing that again. I just don't. So I don't think Dallas is great. I think they're beatable. I'm not saying I'm predicting us to finish with a better record than Dallas. I'm not. I don't want anybody to say that I'm saying that. But would I be, could it happen that we finish second? Yeah, it could. Nobody would have said the Eagles would have finished second last year at the beginning of the year, and it happened. Can we stay healthy, and can we take advantage of a soft schedule? As of now, I'm still going to give Dallas their due. I'm still going to give the Eagles their due. And I think us and Washington are comparable. So that's my mindset right now. But ask me in a couple of weeks if the team keeps playing well. Nick, man, thank you very much. Give Wayne credit. We need Daboll's emote. Yes. That's something I got to work on this week. For sure, Nick. That's something I got to work on this week. The new emotes. Yes. Daboll's. That's a good one. Rob says can't. And as far as Wink, yeah, give him his flowers. The defense played really well today overall. Rob says can't wait until I'm watching Toney and Bad Dog on the MGM channel in a couple of years. SGA trainer, Tana's wife. Rob, man, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll be on Patricia's channel, I think, on Friday. We're going to be doing that show regularly. She's awesome. Love working with her. And, yeah, and who knows? Maybe one day, Rob, I'll get a media pass. That'd be cool. Yeah, I love working with her. She's awesome. So looking forward to doing that on Friday as well. Let's see what we got. Grim says, great team win. Jones still stinks. Hey, win's a win. You know what I'm most excited about, Grim? I'm not talking about Anthony Richardson. I'm not talking about CJ Stroud. I'm talking about the New York Giants. I don't want to talk about college football games right now, week 1 into the NFL season. Had the Giants lost this game and had they played really bad, that would be the talk. So I'm glad that everybody or the majority of Giants fans are looking forward to week 2. And they're not looking forward to week 3 of Ohio State football. Jack, man, thank you very much. Mets World Series or Giants Super Bowl? People ask me these questions all the time. And it's the God's honest truth, Jack. I love all my teams equally. I really, truly mean that. Mets, Knicks, Giants. I love them all equally. The only reason I say the Mets is just because I've never seen them win. I started watching the Mets in 96, 97. Started watching the Giants around the same time. I've seen the Giants win too. Never seen the Mets win. So that's the only reason I say the Mets, but I love them all equally. Abe, man, thank you very much. He says, Super Bowl, here we come. Just kidding. Maybe in 2030. Seriously, though, just glad to see Barkley back in form and the guys fight through it till the end. Good times. Yeah, man. If Barkley's himself, that alone makes us a much better football team this year. Just his threat as a weapon and how the Giants should be able to use him and expose opposing defenses in a scheme like this with what we hope are really smart offensive minds. That alone is going to make this a much better football team this year. And you saw it today. T says they gave the game ball to Joe as they should. First game as a head coach, as they should. So that's great. Kudos to them. If you're going to give it to a player, you're giving it to Barkley. But Brian Daboll deserves it. His first game as a head coach. Big Bang, man. Good to see you, man. Had the Giants on the money line just for shits and giggles. Well, congratulations. I think they were like plus 190. I think last I checked before the game, they were getting 5.5. I think they were plus 190. So you got almost 2-1 on your money, depending on when you bet them. So congratulations. I think you're probably even more excited that they won, but I'm glad you won some money as well. Dan says we have a winning effing record, baby. Not used to that, Dan. Let's keep it up. Let's get the 2-0, man. Let's go, man. Gavin says, I was off by 1 TD, but I did say we would stun the Titans. Let's go. I did not. And I'll be the first to say I didn't think I did think Barkley was going to have a huge year. I did not think he was going to have a huge game today, at least in terms of running the football. I thought they'd try to use him a bit more in the passing game. I did think Jones would throw 2 touchdowns today. I did say that last night. I thought he'd throw for more yards because I didn't think we'd be as successful as we are on the ground today. But, man, you called it, man. Congratulations, man. I did not. I did not. Dude, E. York, man, thank you so much, man. Daboll had the guts to go for 2 at the end to give us a chance to win. He has to face the New York media after the game. Exactly. It's easy for me to say, E. York. When I told Bad Dog they got to go for 2 at the end of the game with 13 or 14 minutes to go. It's easy for me to say that. It's easy for fans to say that. It's much different for a guy like Brian Daboll, right? Because if he's wrong, not wrong, but if the Giants don't get those 2 points, people are going to destroy him for it. The fans, the media, everything else. So he's got the balls to do it, and I'm glad that he did. He's the right man for the job. Also, Saquon killed it. I had tears tonight the moment before the 2-point play. That's awesome, man. I was so excited the moment before the 2-point play, too. You saw how amped up I got. I don't know if you were in bad to extreme, but you saw how amped up I was just seeing that they were going for 2. It just shows a change in philosophy. And the fact that they got it, obviously, you were a lot more excited. John, man, thank you very much, man, for the $5 donation, man. I really appreciate it, man. Brendan, we won't need as many overload blitzes when our guys get healthy. Good point. Those guys that we're banking on, Ojulari and Thibodeau, should be able to generate pressure without having to send 7 guys. Danny Dimes had a good game. Bad pick, but the guy showed heart. Lowered his shoulder when needed and led the winning drive. Great. Brendan, exactly. You got to tip your cap, man. He got the job done when he needed to. He's still got a lot more to prove. He's got to stay consistent throughout the year. But, people have asked me last year, this year, what does Jones need to do? People say, oh, how many yards does he need? How many touchdowns does he need? I'm not saying he doesn't need to hit a certain threshold. Like, he can't throw 12 touchdowns. But what's more important to me is situational football, especially when it comes to the quarterback position. What do you do when the game's on the line? 2-minute drill at the end of the game. And today, when he was presented with that opportunity, even though he had a lot of help from Saquon Barkley, he got the job done, both on the drive and with the 2-point conversion, right? So he got the win, and hopefully there's something to build off, not just for Jones, but for everybody else in this offense. Hopefully they start building some chemistry, start building some confidence, and we'll see what this team can do in 2022. So great win. My happiest win since I've been on YouTube. I'll say that right now. The Seattle game was close, but I think this is my happiest. So it's awesome. Let's see. Independence is not overreacting. Let's build on the win. 7 to 8 wins. I like it. I'm still going to say 17 wins. No, I'm kidding. I'm right with you. I'm sticking with this game. I don't think is going to alter my opinion. Now, if they beat Carolina, I think I'll up my prediction to 8 wins, because I thought they would win 1 out of their first 3, whether it be the Titans, the Cowboys, or Carolina. I thought we'd start 1 and 2. Then I thought we'd beat the Bears. I thought we'd start 2 and 2. So if they win 1 out of the next 2, I will up my prediction to 8 wins. But right now I'm still sticking with 7. If they beat Carolina, I'm upping it to 8. And if they beat Dallas, I'm upping it to 9. But 1 game at a time. But I'm excited for today. Jake, man, thank you very much. I took the day off tomorrow to celebrate. Since we have been in pain for so long, it's reasonable. It's like we won the Super Bowl this year, right? Today, right, Jake? We'll enjoy the day off tomorrow, man. That's awesome. Enjoy the day off. I'm glad that you got to enjoy the win today. Ethan says Saquon is him. I see a lot of the kids on Twitter. That's like a popular thing. I still don't get it. I try to act cool and hip with you guys. Sometimes I'll say it in my Discord, is him. I guess that's like the new, like he's the best. I don't even know what it means, but I see people say that. But yeah, Saquon is him. Today he proved he is him. Steve Evans, man, thank you very much. If the Cowboys lose, does that mean they go? Of course, yeah. If they lose, they'll be 0-1. Everybody else will be 1-0. I'm not saying they're going to be last. I don't know if you're asking me, do I think they'll finish less in the division for the year? If you're asking me that, no, I'm not going to say that based off of a week 1 loss to the Tampa Bay Bucs, one of the best teams in the National Football League. They shouldn't beat the Bucs. So, no, I wouldn't say that, but they'll be last in the division for now. Michael, he says, it's a difference between saying F everybody and then going out there and playing like it. Saquon put the team on his damn back. That's how you get signed. Yeah. And that'll be something we talk about in the offseason if he can keep this up. I'd love to at least have the conversation. That means that Saquon Barkley had a really good year. Ricky, my man, he says, let's go Giants. Would appreciate you shouting out my girlfriend, Nicole, who finally decided to become a Giants fan after 7 years. Cheers, brother. Nicole, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard to the New York Giants fan base. Nicole, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get diehard, loyal, passionate, bipolar fans. But it's not going to be easy. You've been dating Ricky now for 7 years. You've seen what he's gone through. So you better be prepared for some murky waters. But when we get there, it's going to be a party. So welcome aboard. And Ricky, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. Let's see. Chef, he says, I was listening to you guys all game while I'm at work, and I literally ran around the kitchen screaming at the end. Let's go. Dave's is the real deal. Chef, good to see you in here, man. And I unfortunately didn't hit on your bet. I know you always bet on the tight end to score the first touchdown. I'm assuming you bet on Bellinger. Hopefully next week they win it for you, man. And John, man, thank you very much, man, for the $5 donation, man. I appreciate it, man. Good to see James in the chat. The only week I'll be happy that my parlay was blown up. Well, there you go. A lot of people, sometimes they hedge, right? Because they don't want to be too emotionally invested. They'll hedge. They'll bet against their team, and they'll be happy either way if they win the bet or they win with the team. And obviously, you're probably a little bit more happy that your team won. The Imp, man, thank you very much, man, for the $5 donation, man. I appreciate you being here. I see Authentic in the chat. I see Authentic's, man, was on the stream last night. Check him out. Thank you to everybody for being here, man. Congratulations to all you guys. And Crispy Bacon says, why didn't they get Toney more involved? I think, Daboll came out and said supposedly, and I haven't heard the interview yet, but somebody said it earlier in the live stream, that they said that he was completely healthy, but they didn't fit all the packages. I don't know. Like, I didn't hear. I have to hear it before I could really give my full opinion on it. My line of reasoning, if it wasn't because of injury, like they felt he was 100%, the other line of reasoning I would have is they said, all right, new scheme, week one. He didn't really get a lot of time in the scheme, right? Because he was banged up throughout training camp. So they probably said, all right, Richie James week one is a little bit more prepared to have a more expanded role. I still have to think Toney's going to be more involved. And Toney had two really big plays in this game. I do want to say that, but he wasn't in there a whole lot. But he has to get a more expanded role as the season progresses. DM says Daboll was asked what he was thinking about when the field goal unit came out. He says, I was hoping the son of a bitch would miss. Just like every New York Giants fan. It's awesome, man. I saw Daboll on the sideline, and he looked a little like, you could tell, I thought, at least my thought process when I saw him, like, oh, man, you could tell he's really upset. Like, he thought they were going to make the field goal. At least that was the body language that I read. But obviously they missed. Independent says, seems that the Giants' whole team's under 24. They have a real shot. Glad I was wrong. I said Tennessee to win 28-23. Finally, gutsy coach playing to win the game. Yeah, I said 24-17 Titans. And they found a way to win 22-21. They got the job done. And hopefully they can build off this, continue to grow. And let's see what we got. Luis says, Kafka called the great game, in my opinion. It actually looks like a modern NFL playbook. In Daboll, we trust. And the other interesting thing with Kafka this year, Luis, and I don't know how much of a difference this is going to make in terms of the offense, but he's calling plays from up in the booth, something that the New York Giants haven't had in a really long time with their offensive coordinator. But yeah, I mean, what I like, Luis, was they went to what was working. You could tell that they were trying to make a concerted effort to try to throw the ball a bit in the first half, and the offensive line was not giving them a chance to throw. Let's be real. You know, you get all these people talking about Tyrod Taylor in the stream and this and that. No, Tyrod Taylor's not being successful with the way that line was blocking. And I think the New York Giants made their adjustments in the second half. And they said, all right, we got to commit to the run, regardless of the fact that we're down by 13. We're better at run blocking. And Saquon, you're going to take us home. And they made the adjustment. And they got the job done. And the defense kept us in the game. So tip your cap to everybody, man. Troy, what's going on? He says, Tana, we did it. Stand up. Wow, 1-0. What do you think of Dave's call? Dude, it's in my title. He's got balls. He's got balls, Troy. I love it, man. You know, I said it long before the situation presented itself that they better go for two. Not better, but I would go for two in the same spot, and he did it. I just can't believe that the exact situation played out the way I said at the beginning of the fourth quarter. But I'm ecstatic that that's how it played out. I'm ecstatic that he decided to do what he did. Great decision. And Troy, man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, dude. And Gungo says, great win. So happy for Saquon. Pass protection was weak, though. The pass protection was horrible. The pass protection got better after we were able to run, which is only common sense, right? The run sets up the pass. The pass sets up the run. Obviously, once you start being successful at one or the other, the defense has to overcompensate to try to stop that. So what happened? Saquon Barkley started galloping and picking up tons of yards. What happened? Tennessee said, oh, crap. we better start committing more men to the box. They put 7 or 8 in the box. What does Daboll do or Kafka do? The first play of the drive, bang, Sterling Shepard, 65 yards. So at the end of the day, the run is what set everything else up in this game. Barkley's success is what lended itself to Daniel Jones being able to move the football a bit. So kudos to Daboll, right, to making that adjustment at halftime and Kafka and getting this team on the right track. So it's great. LB Live says, great win. Barkley is back. You're damn right he is. Yeah, why is no one talking about the punter? Good call, AV. And everybody always forgets about the punter, right? Punters need love too. And the punt coverage needs to be talked about too. You always got to talk about the negatives, especially during a game like this. You got to at least focus on some things they need to improve on. Punt coverage needs to be talked about. The punt coverage was not great, especially early on, right? They returned that ball to like the 45 midfield right after the New York Giants, I think, had a 3 and out. And there was like 1 or 2 other, punts where they didn't have the best of coverage. But Gillen was awesome. He had a couple, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but he had a couple of booming punts for sure. I think he pinned them inside the 20 maybe 3 times. He was very good, and something we're not accustomed to as Giants fans the last couple of years with Riley Dixon. So good call by you, for sure. Jamie Gillen was really good in this game. Nations, man, good to see you, buddy. He says, I'm not even enjoying the win. I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. We finally start out positive. I still feel like this is fake and I'm dreaming. Nation, that's what I said at the beginning of the stream. I said I started pitching myself right before the stream started. I still felt like I still felt like I was dreaming. But guys, what I'm gonna do, we still got over 1,200 people in here. You guys are freaking awesome. We're gonna celebrate, probably hang out for a bit more. I'm gonna open up the lines. We're gonna open up a video chat. We'll get a couple of you guys in. And I want to get some of your reactions to this game. I want to hear some of your thoughts. So if you guys want to come in, I'll continue to talk to the chat if you don't. But there's the StreamYard link. Click it, pop in. I'll pop you guys in one at a time. I want to hear what you guys got to say. I want to celebrate this with all of you guys. Are you going to do a victory? I'm not sure of it, who. I start my new job tomorrow, so I don't know what time I'm going to be back. I'll definitely have a video up tomorrow at some point. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live stream, but I will definitely have a live stream at some point this week for sure. Let's see. Toney had 7 snaps. Yeah, so only 7. I wasn't sure what the snap count was. I was like, it felt kind of like 9 or 10 or 11. So it was only 7 snaps. But when he was in there, he did make 2 really big plays for the New York Giants. But we're going to start with Samuel.
Dude, what's up?
What's going on, my man?
Not much coming at you from North Dakota celebrating this big Giants dub, dude. I still can't believe it. I got nothing analytical to say or anything like that. It's just
you don't need anything analytical, man. So
yeah, dude. What's the analytics? We won. That's the analytics.
That's the analytics.
So, yeah,
so let me ask you,
absolutely. So just want to tell everybody in the chat, man, enjoy this dub, man. We don't get them often, so.
Let me ask you, Samuel. You're from North Dakota, right?
No, I'm actually from Jersey. I go to school in Minnesota. I got my girl with me here.
Giants fan too, I hope?
I'm sorry?
Giants fan too?
She's actually a Vikings fan. We're also celebrating a dub for her today, too.
They beat the Packers, yeah.
So, absolutely. But, yeah, what was your question? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I was going to ask you how you became a Giants fan, but you told me you're from Jersey.
Oh, yeah, I'm from Jersey. Yep, born and raised.
So overall, what's your overall mindset from this game? Nothing like too analytical, but like what were some of the things that you saw in this game that you took out of it and you're like, this was better than I expected it would be going into the year?
Oh, just the overall being aggressive, going for it on going for the 2 points as opposed to, 3rd and 9 QB sneak like last year, which really was last game when you think about it. So, I mean, the aggressiveness really stuck out to me. And also on defense, how aggressive they were. I thought Patrick Graham kind of was a little more conservative than I would have liked. Wink Martindale really brought the blitz, and I was happy to see that.
Well, and, of course, Barkley.
Oh, gotta love Barkley, man. Gotta love Barkley. He's back, baby. He's back.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, everybody enjoy the dub, man.
Anything else, buddy?
Nothing else, man. Just hope everybody enjoys the dub.
I just wanted to share this win with some of you guys, get you guys on the video chat, and congratulations. Thank you for the support you show on the channel, and thank you for popping in and talking some Giants.
Always.
Football.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Be good, man. Enjoy the win.
You too.
All right, next up, we had him on the stream last night. He called in. MVP, what's going on, man?
Well, yeah. Hey, what's up, man? Oh my God! I am
You got the MVP. Right, he's still there behind you. He hasn't moved since last night.
Of course. No, I had to keep him up.
Let's
Oh
go.
my gosh, I can't even explain. My dad, he's a Bears fan, and he was at that Bears-Niners game, and he was having a great day. I mean, besides the rain, but he was having a great day, and I was getting jealous. Like, man, Bears are getting a Week 1 win. We're playing this tough team too. It's like, oh, what are we gonna do? And like the first half goes by, and I even told you this. I told you this too. Titans were gonna start out hot. Giants were gonna start out very cold, and then warm up in the second half. I didn't think they were gonna warm up that much that we would make a comeback win.
Right.
But holy cow, man! I maybe 2 minutes into the second quarter. I think it was actually maybe after that Jones fumble. I stopped watching.
You stopped watching.
I stopped. I got a lot of homework to do, man. I'm in college.
Right. You're like, oh man, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. And I kept the TV on, and then suddenly I hear Saquon had a 68-yard run.
Right.
Oh, okay. Saquon just scored a touchdown. Oh, okay. All right. And I'm starting to listen a little bit more, and I'm like, you know what? Let me save my work. Let me go look. And as soon as I pop in, I just see this beautiful arc just travel 50 yards straight into Sterling Shepard's hands, and he breaks a tackle and goes straight for the end zone. Oh my gosh. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna win the game. It was at that point, because what was the score then?
It should have been 14-13, but we missed the extra point.
Yeah. It was 13-13. I was like, we're winning this game. We are totally winning this game.
Yeah.
And oh man, and then we had that drive where Jones threw the pick. That sucked. But then that final drive, oh my gosh. I don't know why, and I don't know if anybody will agree with me on this. I'm going to look at the chat, see if they do. That last drive really, really looked like that Daniel Jones Tampa Bay game. I don't know if it was just me. The way he was just driving it down the field, I know there was no huge Evan Ingram. Thank God, no Evan Ingram there. But, man, the way he was driving it down that field, I mean, granted Saquon was helping a lot.
Yeah.
It looked like rookie or Daniel Jones Tampa Bay game.
Jones definitely had a couple, even though he didn't throw for a lot of yards on that drive, he definitely had a couple of key moments on the drive. The biggest moment for me has got to be the 4th and 1, where he got it with his legs, right? Where he had the bootleg rollout and nobody was open. He was able to dive forward and get 3 yards to get the first down. And obviously the touchdown throw. But I still got to tip my cap to Barkley. This is a game where I think I think Barkley set everything up. It's very rare where you could say a running back was by far the main reason why you won a football game. This was one of those games, because that touchdown throw that you just said to Sterling Shepard doesn't happen without Saquon Barkley, because Saquon Barkley started breaking those big runs and the defense had to overcommit to stop him. And then that set up that 1-on-1 opportunity with no safety help over the top to Shepard, and the Giants took advantage of that. But listen, I'm going to tip my cap to Jones. I'm going to kill him if he does another pick like he did to Barkley in a big spot like that. You can't do that. But at the end of the day, I'm not telling you put up gaudy fantasy stats. I don't care about fantasy stats. We're not here to watch fantasy football. We're here to watch NFL football. When the game was on the line, he did what he needed to do. And I need to continue to see him to do what he needs to do when the game's on the line. Listen, he had a game-winning drive, and the New York Giants got a W. And the two-point conversion as well. So there was a lot of pressure on that last drive. Jones, Barkley, everybody else. Kadarius Toney had a big play as well. Where they were going to throw it. He was able to scramble and pick up 5 yards, didn't kill the momentum of the drive. There was everybody contributed. They did what they needed to do on that drive. There was a really good blitz pickup by the offensive line as well, where they sent the house. I think it was on a 3rd and 5, and he hit somebody for a slant for about 5 or 6 yards. So, and that was a key throw as well. So, yeah, the team did what they needed to do on offense on that last drive.
I wanted to say one more thing. Looking at Daniel Jones' past and his play callers in the past, we had Pat Shurmur and Jason Garrett. I really don't want to talk about Jason Garrett, but I want to talk about Pat Shurmur real quick.
Yeah.
Because the year the Minneapolis Miracle happened, that play really showed it, where Stephon Diggs caught it, ran 30 yards or something like that for the touchdown. Yeah. It really showed what Pat Shurmur does. Pat Shurmur schemes to have one guy or maybe two guys open at all times. And maybe you have a check down somewhere. but like he's definitely schemes for a primary receiver.
Right.
And then with Jason Garrett, I think Jason Garrett saw that because Daniel Jones was pretty like he wasn't great, but he was doing well in Pat Shurmur's scheme. And I think Jason Garrett saw that and tried to copy that. And then we know Jason Garrett completely fumbled the bag.
Disaster.
Didn't work. And now what I'm seeing with this Daboll scheme, this Daboll and Kafka scheme, Daboll, before he even got Stephon Diggs, wasn't dealing with a Stephon Diggs type receiver. He was dealing with players like not Isaiah McKenzie, Gabe Davis. I don't know who else were receivers at the time, but like receivers where he had to scheme all of them to be open because he couldn't scheme one guy to be open to make that play. So today I really saw Daboll and Kafka's offensive scheme play towards having multiple guys open versus targeting one guy. But where my point is, though, is that Daniel Jones has been in that type of scheme where he's trying to focus on one guy who everybody's trying to scheme to get open.
Yeah.
Pretty much his entire career. And then for that pick, he knew that Saquon was probably it was probably that play,
It might have been a miscommunication. I don't know. Maybe he thought Barkley was going to break off the route. I don't know. But it is what it is. We won the game. And overall, Jones was 17 for 21. He had very little help in the first half. He was getting destroyed every time he dropped back with the interior offensive line. And I'm glad we were able to get the run game established because I think that opened up the offense. And Jones did what he needed to do when the game was on the line. And we need to see more of that this year. But I'm just excited. And hopefully Daniel Jones stands up to the test this year because that means we're going to win a lot of football games. I'm really excited to see what he can do in this scheme, though. I think this is just the beginning. I think we all got to remember he's in a brand new offense for the third time in 4 years, and he has an offensive line that's never played with one another. So this is the beginning product. This should improve. And he did it today without Toney for the most part. So, and we went up against a good defense, a very good defense on the road. So I think it's going to get better. I think this offense is going to get better over the course of the year. I'm excited to see how it develops. Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm rooting my ass off for Daniel Jones. I know a lot of people may not believe that because I say that, yeah, I'm leaning that we're probably going to draft the quarterback next year. I'm rooting my ass off for Daniel Jones. There's not a player on this team that I maybe Barkley because I love him to death, but I'm rooting my ass off for Daniel Jones. I think the guy gets ragged on every chance anybody gets any opportunity, and I would like nothing more than for him to make people look like fools this year. It would make me feel incredible, and I hope he grows off this and he continues to improve as a quarterback and hopefully we shock the world this year and we win 9, 10, 11 games. But I appreciate you for popping on MVP. Congratulations for predicting the win. I don't know. What was
the first half? No, I predicted Titans win.
Oh,
I predicted the first half very accurately.
Oh, that's what it was. You're right. Exactly. Yeah. You thought we'd get blown out in the first half and then we'd make it a game at the end.
And Derrick Henry didn't have a good game for fantasy, but oh man, Saquon Barkley.
And that's exactly what I told you should have wanted, right? So you should be happy, man. Enjoy the win, and we'll talk soon. I'll definitely, when I do these live streams, I'll definitely have you guys come on after the game to give your guys thoughts. So I appreciate you popping in, and thank you for being such a great supporter on the channel.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
All right, MVP, be good, buddy.
Yep, peace out.
All right, man. I'm just gonna kick him out. Oh, he did himself good because I want other people to get an opportunity to pop in. Anthony DeSant, let me just read this real quick, Anthony, before we get to you, man. JD, man, thank you very much, man. The game was won with BDE, Brian Daboll energy. Last season, this would have been a L. Joe Judge never would have gone. I completely agree. That's exactly what I said at the start of the stream. There was a 0% chance that Joe Judge would have went for that 2-point conversion. He didn't show enough confidence in his players. But what's going on, Anthony, man? Good to see you. And you're wearing the same jersey as me. I love it.
Yes, sir. We got to rep Saquon, man.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Dude, I cannot believe I can, but I can't believe the game Saquon had. Like you said a couple minutes ago, he single-handedly won us that game.
100%. Dude, at least on the offensive side. I don't want to completely dismiss what the defense did. I also don't want to completely dismiss what Daniel Jones did. He had some key moments, but far and away, Saquon Barkley was the deciding factor on the offensive end.
Dude, he is the man, and I guess I know I've been being a Giants fan up here in Maine. It's nothing but but Patriots fans, Cowboys fans, Bills fans. So, like, not really many Giants. And everybody just laughs. Like, oh, Saquon's a has-been. He's not going to be what he was. I keep telling him, I'm like, dude, just keep saying that. Dude is going to have a comeback year. I still think he's comeback player of the year.
I don't think you're wrong for saying that. If Barkley plays 17 games,
yes,
and my prediction looks a lot less crazy than it did before the year, I think he's going to have 2,000 scrimmage yards.
I see it too.
I think he's going to have a massive year. So I see no reason why he can't win comeback player of the year. You're talking about a guy that has not looked like himself since 2018 due to the fact he's been hurt.
Yep.
So I'm in complete agreement with you. And you factor in, I saw a crazy stat, Anthony, before the start of this game. I was blown away by it. Since Saquon Barkley's entered the league, he has the second most rushing plays over 50 yards since he's entered the league.
I read that as well.
And when you think about that, you're talking about a guy who missed 3 or 4 games in 2019. We all know wasn't himself in 2019 outside of the last 2 or 3 games. Missed all of 2020 and wasn't himself last year.
Yep.
So basically did all that in a small amount of 2019 and 2018. He had, I think, 3 less 50-yard runs than the leading guy. Today he had 2 more 50-yard runs. He was second with 6 over the last 4 years. He had 2 today. And the crazy thing, Anthony, the Tampa Bay Bucks last year surrendered 100 yards on the ground 3 times all of last year in terms of team. He had 164 yards by himself against the best run defense in the NFL behind a makeshift offensive line.
That's what I say too. The same thing. It's just it's a horrible offensive line. And I love when people are like, oh, but Zeke is so much of a better runner. I'm like, dude, put Barkley behind the Dallas O-line. Barkley would feast.
Yeah. Exactly.
Maybe not now, but he's a stud. I love him. I personally, I've been backing the kid since I wanted him number 2 overall back in 2018. I honestly hope we extend him. Like, I don't care. Like, I know you don't pay a running back, but this kid, I don't think, like you said in a video a couple days ago, Barkley's not really that guy to, play for a contract and then just, fizzle out. As long as he stays healthy, of course, because health is the biggest problem, and he has had bad luck. But I think we should keep him because even if DJ is not the guy, our quarterback is going to need a reliable weapon, and Saquon's proving it. Him and Shepard, but I don't think Shepard's here next year. Saquon's the only weapon we have, really. Yeah. Like, Galladay should be good. Toney should be good. Who knows with Robinson? But, like, I don't know. Like, Saquon has proved it over and over and over again. Like, as long as he's healthy, he is the determining factor. And wasn't Tennessee, like, the number 2 rushing defense last year? Yeah. And what did he just do?
Yeah, they gave up 3.9 yards per carry last year for the whole season. This year, today, Barkley averaged 9. So I'm not going to say they should extend him yet. He has a lot more to prove to me, even though I love him to death. He's got to stay healthy more so than anything else. That's what he needs to prove to me. I think he's back. I think he's legit, but he's got to play 17 games and he's got to play at a high level. But if he does that and demonstrates that he could raise the play of this offense like he did today, you have to seriously entertain bringing him back.
Hey, I'm with you. I think we go 3-0. I think we beat Carolina, and I think we beat Dallas.
Just think about, Anthony, the juice from this fan base if we start 2-0. I want you to envision this. We're 2-0.
Yep.
And we got the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. Could you imagine waiting all week if we beat Carolina and being like, oh, my God, we're primetime 2-0 against the Dallas Cowboys? That sounds fun, right?
Oh, I'll take that all day. All day. I want to fry up some Cowboys and some Eagles. The Eagles, I mean, they beat the Lions. They proved me wrong. I said Hurts can't throw. I mean, granted, they got A.J. Brown. I didn't think that was going to work. But, I mean, Philly will be tough. There'll be a roadblock. But I think the Giants are going to surprise a lot of people this year. I mean, they just did today.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't want to say I'm completely with you. I'm not going to raise expectations too high, but I am with you that I think we could be competitive this year. And I think we could win more games than some people may have thought before the year started.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
Anthony, man, thank you so much, man, for popping in. Thank you for all the support you always show. I've talked, you've been a subscriber to my channel for a long time. I appreciate you for popping in, and enjoy the win.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me on. I mean, I think this is the first time I've been on the video, so I appreciate actually finally being able to kind of, face to face. I love you and Bad Dog, and I've been rolling with you guys since seems like the beginning, the old days of you
I
guys
remember,
on your
man. You were in my
couches.
Discord too for a while. Yeah, man.
Yep.
I remember, man.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you for popping in, man, and thank you for all the support.
Yes, thank you. And let's go Giants family. Let's go chat. Let's get it.
Let's go, Anthony, man. Be good, buddy.
You too.
All right, man. Let me read this real quick. Russell, he says, we were shaking in our boots about Henry yesterday and praising the Titans' run defense. Saquon put the league on notice today. Russell, listen, I gave them respect because they deserved it. I mean, the Titans were 12-5 last year. They were number one seed in the AFC. They had been to an AFC title game. Mike Vrabel had never had a losing season since he's been the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Granted, the Titans came out sluggish last year. They did lose to the Arizona Cardinals last year, 38-13 at the beginning of the year. And then they kicked ass after that. But regardless, this is a good football team. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. This is a good football team. I recognize they lost A.J. Brown. They're still a good football team. And for the Giants to go out there today, play the way they did, beat the Titans at what they do best, stopping Derrick Henry and being able to establish a run against that interior defensive line, you should be happy as a Giants fan. Franco, man, thank you very much. And we're going to bring on the next caller. He says, what was underlooked was seeing Daboll hug Saquon and Shep together. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see that. Obviously, because I was going crazy. But I didn't get a chance to see that. But I'm sure I'll watch it after the fact. I always watch the highlights when I get an opportunity. At the end of the 2-point conversion and how pumped they were. Shows how much love they love and trust Daboll. Hey, man, it's great to see that chemistry. And it's great to see how the New York Giants offense gelled today, man. Oh, man. But thank you very much. Fabian, Toney, do you think Barkley's lost his I'm assuming you mean his top end speed? Fabian. Love Fabian. But I got a question for Fabian. Fabian's in all my streams, always support me. Are you blind? I mean, seriously, Fabian. I mean, his top end speed, no, he has not lost it. If anything, he's back at it. But no, I have no doubt in my mind he has not lost his top end speed. Saquon Barkley does not look like he's missed a beat since his 2018 rookie season. So no, I think he's good to go. And I think if Saquon Barkley stays on the field this year, he is going to be a massive, massive asset to this Giants offense. Taco, what's going on, man?
You hear me, Chris?
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, Chris? Bro, I'm speechless. I can't believe what happened today, bro. This is nuts.
Dude, we just knocked off the number one seed in the AFC last year.
I
on the road without our two pass rushers.
And you know what? You know what? Respect to our defense. We held Derrick Henry, bro. I was scared as hell with Derrick Henry. We held Derrick Henry. You got to give respect where respect is due. What's his name? Wink Martindale did a pretty damn good job with the team he has with Tate Crowder and whoever the hell the other linebacker was. You know what? Respect to the defense. I thought, especially at the beginning after seeing them, I was like, oh, great. Our defense is.
I just said it, Taco. I was amazed when I looked at it. Henry had 56 yards rushing in the first half. It was either 56 or 57. I remember the stat total. And he had an 18-yard carry, his second carry in the second half. So 56 at 18, you're talking about 75 yards. He had 6 yards outside of that in the second half.
I know.
That's insane.
It is insane. It really is insane. I'm very proud of the defense. You know what? I want to know I have a question. What was your thoughts on Daboll giving it to Daniel Jones a little bit? I loved it. But what was your thoughts?
No, I loved it, man.
I'm happy finally a coach gives him tough love, yeah?
Yeah, I loved it, man. I think most Giant fans like that, right? I mean, he deserved it after that throw. Get into him, light him up, and maybe that gives him a spark, and it did. He gave us the game-winning drive.
Yeah.
He got the job done when we needed him.
Yeah, and talk about Saquon. I was like, all my buddies were like, yeah, who are Cowboys fans, Titans fans, some even Panthers fans. Yeah, Saquon's trash. He's washed. He's this. He's that. I'm like, no, this Saquon looks different. I saw him they showed a screen. They showed him on the screen during the game. I don't remember which moment. And you could see it in his face. He was not gonna let this game go out easy. He was not gonna leave the field without knowing he put his 100%. And that's someone, you know what? you can say whatever you want about Saquon, but since day one, he's put everything out there for the Giants.
Hey man, he left it all out on the field today. There's no denying it. He played, not just the big runs. He was fighting for every inch. I remember there was a play on that last drive where he didn't even gain any extra yardage after the contact, but it was a 3-yard gain on a catch, and he had 3 guys on him, and he's still trucking to try to get that extra inch. Like, he gave you everything today.
I love that. I love that. That's a new that's the new Saquon.
I think
He's
last year he wasn't fully mentally recovered. Coming off the ACL tear, and I think this year he's more free, and he has a lot more confidence in his body. So I expect to continue to see this Saquon.
Now, if let me ask you a question. If Saquon continues like this, are you thinking about what type of contract would you give Saquon? Ever cross your mind? What do you give him?
All right, so let's play the game. Let's say he has a year similar to his rookie year.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, when somebody asked me, I think it's much more likely Saquon's back if Jones is not, because you have to pay the quarterback. If you have to pay the quarterback, it's very hard.
Yeah, that's going to – you're tying up way too much money.
Tying up a lot of money into the running back. So if Jones is not back, I think it significantly increases the probability that Barkley could be back, because then suddenly you reset the rookie deal on the quarterback contract. And if that's the case, if he has a great year, I'm not committing more than 3 years to him because of his injury history. Maybe I give him 4, but certainly I want to be able to get out after 3 with like little to no cap hit. And I would be approach maybe that $13 to $14 million per year average if he has a gigantic year. And I say to myself, this is a guy, he's only 25, that I could have be a part of the growing process for my rookie quarterback. I think that is his best opportunity to remain on with the New York Giants.
Yeah, I hope he has a monster year. I hope we bring him back. Thoughts on Evan Neal today? I know according to PFF, I saw a tweet where out of 30-something pass protection attempts, he had 1 pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see the stats after the game. There was 1 or 2 plays where it stood out to me where Evan Neal kind of struggled. But overall, I didn't get the feeling that, like with Andrew Thomas early on, we got that feeling like he's really struggling. I didn't feel that with Evan Neal today, which is good. He was going up against a very good defense. So, granted, they were missing their best pass rusher, but still very good. So, he did not stand out to me. The guy that stood out to me was Bredesen in a bad way. He was really bad.
That left guard is a problem.
Major problem. But I'm really excited to see, the grades that come out. We all get excited about that as Giants fans after the fact. You see what the numbers say. You get to watch the film, especially on a player like Evan Neal, because he's such a big part of our future. But, nothing really stood out to me that he was horrendous. There was a couple plays where he certainly struggled. But overall.
But he's a rookie. At the end of the day, he is a rookie.
For his first game, he did about as good as I thought I thought he would do.
Can't be any worse than Nate Solder, right?
No, he's much better than Nate Solder. He's much better than Nate Solder.
So what's your outlook for the rest of the year? You're feeling 7 wins?
Like I said earlier, I'm still sticking with 7.
I feel you around 7. Yeah.
If they win 1 out of the next 2, I'll up it to 8, because I had them winning 1 out of their first 3, whether that was the Titans, whether that was the Cowboys, or whether that was Carolina. So if they win 1 out of these next 2, they're a game ahead of what I thought. I'll upgrade it to 8. And we'll take it one game at a time. But right now, even though I am definitely higher on this team than I was going into week 1, I'm still gonna be cautiously optimistic. Keep it at 7. They win against Carolina next week, which I'm picking them to do. I'll up it to 8.
Yeah. 2 quick last questions. One, where the hell was Kadarius Toney today?
Yeah, I got to listen to the interview. People told me that I got to listen to the interview. Daboll,
was he injured? I don't think he was injured.
Apparently, Daboll said that he was not injured. Apparently, so I got to hear it. I got to hear all the specifics,
because there's so many plays where you could see, like, bro, just give Kadarius Toney the ball and see what he could do, and he's just sitting there on the sideline. Like,
the only thing that makes sense to me, and I said this a few times during the stream, is if he was not injured, I think that the Giants probably felt like he wasn't used to this offense enough yet to give him an expanded role week 1, because he hasn't been playing a lot in the preseason because he's been injured in training camp. So that is the only other thing that makes sense to me, because I have to figure as the season gets going, Kadarius Toney is going to be one of the most featured weapons in this offense. So
He should be.
yeah, no, I agree. He should be. So I think that there's definitely a reason behind it. I don't expect him to continue to have a role where he's only getting 7 snaps. So I expect to see him more against Carolina. Maybe not as much as we're hoping, but I think they'll continue to expand his role as the season gets going.
Yeah, and final one, what did you think? How do you think Mike Kafka did today?
I love it. I love the adjustments they made at halftime. That's what good coaches do. Obviously, the first half game plan wasn't working, and the Giants made adjustments offensively. They committed more to the run, and yeah, that's what good OCs do. So I thought he had a great first game. His first game as an offensive coordinator in the NFL. Him and Daboll, I think they did a great job making adjustments at halftime.
By the way, it felt so weird seeing a coach actually going for something. I was like, wait, is this actually the New York Football Giants? It was like so weird. It felt so good. It felt so good after that 2-point conversion, and of course after the field goal. Once I saw the kicker, with all due respect, I was like,
no, I think a lot of Giants fans thought he was going to make it. It was 47 yards.
Yeah,
but he missed. I'm ecstatic. Taco, I'm gonna let you go because I got like 10 other people trying to get in. But thank you so much, man, for all the support you always show.
I know it's been like shaky. It's been a while, but I'm always in the streams. I always try to watch.
No, man, I know, dude. Dude. So thank you so much, man, and enjoy the win.
And keep up the good work. Let's get you to 45,000 subscribers.
I appreciate it, man. Let's go knock off the Carolina Panthers week 2.
Oh yes. Okay. Chris, have a good one, bro. Enjoy.
Be good, Taco, man. Good talking to you. We're gonna get Allison on next. She's awesome. Let me just read a couple of these. True Apple says, proud W, lots to fix, but run blocking impressed me. Yes. Should mention that more, right? We're talking about how they had issues specifically in the first half in terms of pass blocking. But yes, the run blocking, they were giving Saquon Barkley holes. And Barkley, once he got those holes, you saw the speed once he was able to get to the second level. But yes, the run blocking was certainly there for sure. They did a good job in that area, and they've done a good job in that area during preseason. Thank you, Truapolis. DM says Saquon averaged 9 yards a carry. Somebody must have thrown a block against the number 1 run D. Yeah, for sure. No, the offensive line did a good job in terms of the run blocking, for sure. And they deserve credit for that, definitely. V-Rock says they clocked Barkley at over 21 miles an hour on a 68-yard run. For a guy his size, that's crazy. So I forgot who it was. Whoever asked me, do I think he lost his speed? No. And Tommy says NFC East is no longer the NFC East after today. At least through 1 week, it's not. Let me look at the Cowboys score. Obviously, I'm not watching that right now because I'm talking to you guys. Cowboys right now. Let me just see. Cowboys are down 12-3. Take a quick look at the box score. Dak Prescott. We're getting a glimpse of what Dak Prescott looks like after he gets paid. He loses a couple of pieces. He loses Amari Cooper. He's missing Tyron Smith. Dak Prescott, 6 of 16, 53 yards, 1 interception. We warned you, Dallas fans. We warned you. Wasn't worth that contract. But we'll see. But Dak Prescott struggling. Tommy B says NFC East is no longer the NFC. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. And Nader says Richie James looks ridiculous. He had a good game. And I thought he looked good in the punt return game for sure. He definitely had a couple of good big catches. He did have that one key drop. I'll add that. But overall, definitely produced. He had about 60 yards and had 2 or 3 really good punt returns. So, yes, he's another guy that should be talked about. King Casper says, can you put the link again? Exit out by accident. It's going to be tough for you to get on. But there's the link because there's a lot of people waiting. But there's the link. And we're going to bring on Allison now. Let me just read one more. I just want to make sure I'm caught up. And then we're going to bring on Allison. The Imp says Daniel Jones averaged 20.54 miles per hour on the famous run. Well, we don't need to talk about that run. But he was fast before he reached the 8-yard line. And Relic says, E, when you saw the king flying in the air off a Crowder hit, what came to your mind? Relic, I'm going to be completely honest with you. And it was definitely like during like a darker part of the game because the Giants were still kind of struggling. When I first saw it, before I saw the replay of like how good of a hit it was, I was like, why is Crowder celebrating? We're losing by a good amount. It was a 4 or 5 yard run. But when you saw the replay, yeah. You see him throw Derrick Henry in the air like that. Yeah, I was getting jacked up a bit. But Allison, what's going on? Good to talk to you.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. I hope you're enjoying the win.
I just question. Can you hear me, or is it kind of bad?
You sound great.
All right, cool. Sorry, I'm in the car. I'm headed home from the Titans Giants game.
Oh, you were there? Oh, that's right. You told me you were going to the game.
Yeah, I live about 35 minutes from downtown Nashville, so I am actually headed home now. But
what was the atmosphere like? There was a couple people in the chat that were there that said that there were almost as many Giants fans there as Titans fans.
I gotta say, I thought there were more Giants fans at one point.
Really?
I thought it was really the section I was in, just about everyone around me was a Giants fan and maybe 4 Titans fans. And a lot of them had crowns on their heads because I guess they sell them at their merchandise table for, I guess, Derrick Henry because they call him the king. So every time he'd get the ball, they'd yell, pass it, or give it to the king or whatever. And, you know, they were really surprised when every time Barkley got the ball because they're like, oh, it's not going to be bad because the first quarter was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So when he had the ball in the second half, they were just like, oh, here we go again. They're going to score again.
Yeah, but second half, they turned it on.
I got to say, a lot of people started leaving towards the last minute of the game because they didn't think anything was going to happen. And then people were in the crowd like, oh, lost by a field goal. And then they started leaving. And then all of a sudden you hear, I was surprised to hear cheers versus boos. Because like I said, it was more Giants fans that I noticed at least.
It was really that Giants dominant at the game.
It was. I was surprised to see that many Giants fans and to hear someone I sat next to. I guess they live out in Philadelphia or whatever. It's been like over $1,000 to like go to the game. Now I was sitting in like the lower bowl, maybe about like 6 rows from the field, but yeah, it was pretty loud there. I won't deny it.
That is awesome. And what was your main takeaway from the game? What are you most excited about coming out of this game? Obviously, outside of the win.
I mean, I think the culture seems different. They looked different warming up. I mean, I went to the game with Joe Judge, and it looked like a military boot camp when he was running everything. But then with the Daboll, I guess, team or Daboll-led team, it looked more like they were out there at like summer camp. It looked like they were having fun. They seemed more excited during warm-ups. And Saquon looked really different. I mean, seeing him during warm-ups versus last year, like there was just kind of like a determination on his face a lot of the time.
Last year with Saquon, if you recall, not just his play on the field, it got to a point where Saquon felt like he was depressed during the press game conferences. And I almost felt like he was like starting to lose his love for the sport. So it just feels I'm just so happy for him that you could tell like he's really happy that he's back where he should be.
Oh, for sure. I mean, now I know I'm probably going to get a bunch of criticism for this, but Daniel Jones is probably one of my favorite players aside from David Stills. And that's a whole other story. But anyways, watching him throw that interception, I honestly thought that Saquon was going to curl back to the ball just from sitting where I was sitting, because I was in the end zone when they were on that drive. So they were facing me at the time. And I thought he was going to go back to get the ball on that play.
Yeah, listen, we don't know, because Jones is never going to throw Barkley under the bus. And, so it's always going to be the quarterback's blame. So it could have been miscommunication, or it might have just been a really bad throw. Regardless, I'm glad that Jones got an opportunity to make up for it.
Oh, of course. But, I mean, his vision just looked terrible on that. I mean, I would defend him for a while, but that vision was just one way. There was no second.
Yeah, it was a one read throw. He stared him down the whole time.
Oh yeah, everyone in the stands was like, "Well, we knew it was going to go there," and
Yeah.
you could see the defender was already right there, ready for the ball. So it's kind of.
But Allison, I'm gonna let you go just because I got so many people trying to get in.
Okay.
I saw Authentic say try to get you VIP. I wish I could. As I keep seeing a notice in the top that says it's already full. It's already full. It's already full. So you could keep trying. Maybe you'll be able to get in. But Allison, thank you so much. I'm glad that you were there. I'm glad that you got to enjoy the win and get home safe.
I actually just pulled in, so all good.
Well, all right. I'm glad you got home safe. All right. We'll talk soon. Be good. And Independent Man, thank you very much. He says, "Oh my God, a last-minute tight end touchdown. Who are these guys?" Yeah, I don't care who caught it. I don't care if it was the kicker, but yeah, a game-winning touchdown like that on a drive like that, it was awesome. Oh, he's right there. He's in. There you go. What's going on?
My man, you can hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear. By the way, Authentic called the win last night.
I did call a win last night. I appreciate you having me on the show yesterday, rocking with Bobby and Patricia Trainer and Mage. That was an awesome vibe. And we kicked it for like 2 hours after the game and just talked and chopped it up, man. And something about this game, man, I don't know what it was. I told you if there was a time to be optimistic, it's week one. We don't really know what we got out there. I think it was a bit ugly. You know, that first half was very depressing for a while. They're not putting no points on the board. But to see that defense, man, that defense was so resilient the whole game. Like, bend, don't break. It reminded me of a lot of the older Giants defenses. You know, me and you actually had a conversation about this. I think you said it was either the 2016 or 2015 defense that was a bend, don't break defense, top of the league as far as red zone defense. And this reminded me of that. Like, there were so many opportunities for the Titans to put this game away. Yep. And offensively, it seemed like we were down by 7 for like 4 possessions straight. And I always talk about these windows that the quarterback has to try to either put games away, put the nail in the coffin, or, you know, in this case, it was to tie it up. And we just couldn't get there. And I think when Daniel Jones was playing well on that one drive, we had Richie James with the big drop. And, you know, we're looking at it like, is the team going to let this kid down again? And, man, game ball just goes to the homie Saquon Barkley, man. He's a god out here, bro.
Saquon Barkley's on another level, man. Like I'm just so happy he's back to his old self. There's still a lot to work on. Don't get it twisted. Like, I'm not going to be like, there's teams winning the division where, you know, we're going, you know, we're going to win 11 games. No, they got to prove a lot more to me before I'm committed to that. But it's a good win for sure. It's a really good win. And I think what gives us a lot more hope now as you look at our schedule. Authentic, let's be honest. Do you think we could beat the Bears?
Yeah, I think we could beat the Bears. They had a great comeback win today, 19 straight points in ugly weather. But it was also an ugly win for them too. You know, this game was pretty cool. I think we know now what we got in Saquon Barkley. And I think we know that some of these depth pieces can step up. I tweeted out, like, you know, about 2 weeks ago, I said I wasn't scared of Derrick Henry. And people, at first, it was a wave of Giants fans when it went viral first that were coming at me like, man, I think we should be scared, da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro, I'm not scared of Derrick Henry. I don't know what it is. Knowing that we got to stop the run is I felt like that gave us an advantage, and we had to force Ryan Tannehill to beat us. And then I got a wave of Titans fans that came at me like, oh, you're going to see, you know, King Henry, da-da-da-da, all of this. And the whole time I just wasn't scared, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Derrick Henry. I just think when you know what the task is at hand, it makes it a little bit easier. Had we have had to try to scheme for run and pass, I think it would have been a little bit more difficult for this defense. But that, man, gang tackling, run blitzing, they did exactly what we really wanted. They filled gaps. At times you saw that the edge rushers were getting a little bit tired out there, and I think that timeout late in that game was critical to give that defense a little bit of wind. And even though they did convert, and Ryan Tannehill made a fantastic throw late in that game to put them in field goal range, you just got to have no quit. And I think that the pressure that they put on the edges during the field goal is what caused them to shank it, and caused it to go wide. They didn't give up, man.
And also the play, and another thing, and so somebody else mentioned, I forgot I think it was, I can't remember what, somebody donated and they brought up a good point. The play before the field goal where they backed Tannehill up 3 more yards.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, because he was trying to get to the certain spot on the field, but we got a great interior push on that play, and we backed him up 3 more yards. Those 3 yards, those 9 feet could have been the difference in that field goal going in and not going in.
You're right.
Just little things like that are what ultimately win football games. And obviously some luck. Giants had to get some luck. It was a 47-yard field goal. He's still, but regardless, I mean, even if we lost the game, obviously we wouldn't have been as excited. We wouldn't, I probably wouldn't have even gone live. I would have made a video, but it still would have left a lot of good taste in our mouth. Like you said, the resurgence of Barkley completely changes this offense. Like, if Barkley is that all year, It's going to make the offensive line better. It's going to make
Yep.
Daniel Jones better. It's going to make the wide receivers better. It makes this offense much harder to defend against when you have to account for a player of the magnitude of a guy like Saquon Barkley. So
Yep.
that alone, if people didn't believe in Barkley before the year started, should give you a lot more hope, at least in this offense going forward this year.
He's running extremely tough. He finished every run. I mean, I saw that one play where he caught the swing pass on the check down. He was out by the sidelines, kind of tried to hit a move, and he saw that the defender kind of wasn't biting on the shakes, just lowered his shoulder and just tried to get extra yards. And that's the Saquon that we know. And the other thing that I've really got to commend, especially on the defensive side of the ball, man, like we watched last year with the Patrick Graham scheme late in games where we might have had a touchdown and we kind of went up, or we were playing in a close game, that soft zone defense where we're trying to keep everything in front of us. Wink Martindale completely did the opposite in this game. When he saw that our defense was getting tired late in that game, you saw McKinney coming in on blitzes. You saw safeties.
3 straight plays, McKinney blitz from the same side of the field. He just same. Basically, Wink said, You're gonna have to beat us. I'm going after you. And there's gonna be times where that's excruciating.
Yeah.
You know, like that one play, I think it was a 1st and 20 after they got a holding penalty. He sent like 8 guys and they picked up 26 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to happen with a defense like this. But today it paid off for the most part. I mean, his game plan paid off. He forced Tannehill to have to beat him. And Tannehill definitely made some good throws for sure. But overall, they kept Tannehill in check. And the Giants' defense ultimately is what kept them in this football game.
Yeah, and Tannehill played a pretty good game. I didn't get a chance to look at the numbers, but he played a pretty good game. When we're talking about those 3 straight blitzes with Xavier McKinney, there was one of those where Xavier was right there, and that's the one where Tannehill made that post corner route to put him in field goal range at the end. And something about the end of that, I was just like, if we could just keep it to about a 45-yarder or more, it'll give us a shot. Because I just didn't want it to be a chip shot after that big pickup. You don't want them to get a couple more yards. And I think where they kind of gave this game to us in a way was the 2 plays before the field goal. They literally just tried to set it up for their field goal team. Instead of trying, I know they didn't have a timeout there, but I think there was about 18 seconds. You could have tried to get something.
I'm trying to remember. Didn't they waste the timeout? Like it was a stupid timeout. I forgot what it was. There was something. I feel like they wasted the timeout when they didn't need to.
I think they did waste the timeout.
When it was at 18 seconds, I can't remember what they did. Maybe it was the clock was winding down. Maybe they were about to get.
And you know what they could have done too is, like, instead of just Ryan Tannehill taking the snap, running to the right and just kneeling it down, run a play. Why not just run the ball? They comfortably got back to the line and spiked it. They were at the line with 8 seconds left in the game. They waited till it got to 4 and then spiked it, so if they made the field goal, it'd be a walk-off. But why not try to get some more yards? So I like what I saw out of the Giants in this game, but there's a lot left out there on the field. You know, I think the numbers for Daniel Jones, when I just looked at them, they're a little bit surprising to me, to be honest, you know. And I think passer rating was really high. I saw Amazing Guy was mentioning that in the chat. The passer rating was pretty high. I think it was around like 110 or 115.
He was 17 for 21.
But then if you go look at the QBR was really low, around 25. So I think it shows you the quality of how his play has been. He did some good things. He did some bad things. We know the interception. I saw your last caller talking about maybe Saquon could have came back. If you saw the live broadcast, Brian Daboll was chewing Daniel Jones out on the sidelines severely after that, and not even to the point where he was like trying to restrain his body mannerisms. He was putting his hands up and doing all of this pointing and all this. It looked like he wanted people to know, I'm putting the pressure on my quarterback to be accountable. And Daniel Jones, you saw a bit of a more stern kind of quarterback after that possession where he threw the interception to know, hey, you can't make those mistakes, but also you got to go out there and play free. Picked up that 4th and 1. He had a 3rd and 5 where pressure was right in his face and hit that crossing route. Very impressive.
When they sent the all-out blitz, that was a really good throw. And you also got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line on that play because they sent 7 guys. They sent the house. And even though it wasn't more than a couple of seconds to even give Jones any time there, when they're sending that amount of pressure, the offensive line deserves a lot of credit for that play too. But yeah, Jones, that was probably Jones' best play of that drive.
Yeah, tight window throw too.
Yeah, that was probably his best play of the drive, and obviously the 4th and 1 bootleg rollout where he picked it up with his legs. But yeah, listen, Jones not perfect. Like Jones, if we're being honest, Jones against Washington early on last year was a much better game than this.
Yeah,
Jones against the Saints was a better game than this. So yeah, he's had better games, but at the end of the day, people ask me all the time, what do I need to see from Daniel Jones? I need to see better games than this for sure. He can't be throwing that pick in the corner of the end zone. But the most important thing for me is situational football with my quarterback. And today, when the situation called for it, when he got the opportunity, He did what he had to do. He needs
Yeah.
to continue to do that. He needs to continue to grow, but it's a step. And we need to see, like you said last night, more consistency, but it's a step. And we'll
Yeah.
see if he can build upon this. I think we also need to recognize this is only his first game in a brand new offense. So it may take 2 or 3 more weeks before he really hopefully hits his stride and this offensive line hits their stride playing together. So I'm going to give him the year. We're 1 week in. We're 1-0.
Yeah.
We'll see what we do against Carolina next week.
Definitely, man. And I just wanted to say congratulations, because I feel like this is the first week 1 win since I've been watching you on YouTube since like maybe what was that 2017, 2018 or whatever it was. And I always tell you, man, you inspired me to start creating content myself. And with me and the Beard doing our thing with our channel, it's great to be able to come here and just chop it up with you after a week 1 win, a surprising one. Something in my gut told me the Giants was going to get this game. It was going to be ugly. The Titans are that kind of team. They're not going to score a lot of points. They're going to let you hang around, and they let us hang around in this game. I think that if we could have played a better first half, we could have maybe ran away with this game. I think these weapons out here look pretty good. We didn't see much out of Kadarius Toney, but what we did see from him, especially in the quick running game that they were trying to do with him, that worked out really well. We know we got a weapon in Richie James. I even liked a couple of catches I saw from Galladay. The weapons are there. As long as we can stay healthy, this team should be able to win some games. And like you said, if we get to 2-0, maybe I'll bump that 5 or 6 wins up to about 7 or 8, maybe 8 or 9. We'll see how it goes. But, man, I just wanted to come here, man, and salute you, man. Y'all killed it on the live stream earlier, and now you putting in more work. I got some videos I got to create because we're doing some pre-recorded content this year too. So I'm going to knock those out. I'm going to let the next caller get in here, man. But salute to the Giants Nation, man, and everybody out there. This was major, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Stand up for your man, entertainer. I'm going to be in the chat, chopping it up with everybody else, man. But it feels great, bro. It feels real good.
Yeah, man. Happy for you. Happy for everybody else. Authentic's been a day 1 subscriber of mine. Day
Facts.
1. I remember you when I was first doing my live streams. You were one of the most active people in my chat. When you told me you were starting a channel, I was really excited for you. You put in a lot of work to your channel. I think you got great production quality. You got a great channel.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you continue to grow. And thank you so much for popping on. And glad that we got to experience this win together.
Facts, man. It's all love, and best of luck with the new job tomorrow, brother.
Be good, man.
All right, my man. Be good.
Be good, Authentic. Authentic's the man. Josh, man, thank you very much. Can't wait for Kayvon and Aziz to be back. You and me both, man. For the Giants to be able to do what they did on defense without those 2 players, I think says a lot about Wink Martindale and what he was in the game plan he was able to come up with today. But you factor in, we're going to get those 2 players back. I think a lot of us are going to be really excited to see what this defense could potentially be when they enter the lineup. Let's see what we got. We got Mini Guy. He's been on the line for a bit. What's going on, man?
Yo. Can you hear me good?
First off, I know you're a huge Braves fan. What's going on, man? We got a 1.5 game lead all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm really not focused on the Braves right now. I mean, what happens in the playoffs will happen in the playoffs. I know, the Braves and the Mets are pretty much getting in, and I was too busy focusing on the Giants game today. Man, I can't believe that they won. This is like this is the first time since 2016 they won their first home game, opening game. I mean, I know they're playing.
Well, the first time we've been over 500 since 2016 at any point in the season.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, I genuinely was not expecting us to win. And now for me, it completely changes everything because now I'm thinking, okay, we're playing Carolina next week. It's about a 50-50 chance. I'm almost certain that we're gonna beat them now. And like I said, it's just crazy that we actually won because I genuinely was not expecting us to win. I love Authentic. I'm into his streams all the time. I thought he was crazy for picking the Giants to win. I have never been more happy to be wrong.
Well, to be honest with you, even Authentic said, he didn't call himself crazy, but even Authentic said week 1, I always have a little bit more homerism in me. I'm going to pick us, but he basically said, take it with a grain of salt. So even he was not like, I'm all in that we're going to get a win, but he called it. I'm going to give him credit for that. But listen, Giants came out today. I think they surprised a lot of us. And I think the most encouraging thing for me is Daboll. Right? Because you know that Daboll, or at least you hope that Daboll is going to be a long-term piece to this football team. You hope he's going to be the next great coach. And for him to make some of the adjustments he made at halftime offensively, and for him to put it, drop his balls on the table and said, I'm going for it for 2. I think that's a great sign of things to come, hopefully, with Brian Daboll. So I think that's the biggest positive, more so than anything else that I take out of this game.
Yeah, going into the half, I honestly thought that was kind of it. I thought the Giants were kind of just down and out, but you see these players fighting under Daboll, which is something that I love, and I think that's something we're going to see for the rest of the season. then after that we have Dallas, who I think is still losing to Tampa Bay. So it's kind of, it's going to be funny, laughing at them, seeing as they're the only team in the NFC East who didn't win week 1. And then we got Chicago after that. I think we can win all of those games at this point.
Yeah, I am picking us to start 4-0, but I hope you're right. But what I will say is I would not be surprised if we win any of those. Like if you tell me we're going to beat Dallas, I could see it. I just don't think we're going to win all 3 of them. But I do think they're going to be games that we're competitive in. I will agree with you on that.
Yeah, but that's pretty much that's pretty much it, because I know there's a lot of people trying to get on. So I just want to say, what's up real quick. I'm just like happy that we won, dude. Like I'm just pumped. I'm trying to hold it in because like I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, because like you say, there's a good chance we could still lose all of those games, but it just puts it in a different perspective now that we actually won our first game, especially since it was on the road.
I'm excited, man. I'm really excited for Carolina now next week. And hopefully we get off to that 2-0 start. We get the 2-0. All of a sudden you say to yourself, in a weak NFC conference, think about this. If the Giants start 2-0, you look at the rest of our schedule, you say, do you think it's crazy that we go 7-8 over our next 15 games after that?
No.
Because you still have the Jaguars on the schedule, you still have the Lions on the schedule, you still have the Texans on the schedule, you still have Washington on the schedule. Like, you do have winnable games on the schedule. So you say to yourself, if you start 2-0 and you go 7-8, 9-8 probably gets you in the playoffs in the NFC.
Yeah.
So the outlook of this team, I think, will change for a lot of fans if they could double up this win and beat Carolina week 2. But we got to do it. We got to double up. We'll see if we can do it.
Right. Yeah, I even got my Brandon Jacobs jersey on. I mean, I bought it used for like $30, but this is like the first jersey.
Brandon Jacobs, one of my all-time favorite New York Giants of all time. That's a great jersey to own.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite running back of all time. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. Like I said, I just want other people to get in. So, appreciate the content. I still love it. I'll talk to you later.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for popping in, man. He's the man. All right, we're gonna get Kalen on. Kalen's awesome. He's been with me for a long time too. I don't know why it's black. It's a black screen, but for some reason I think he froze. I think that's what it is, because he's frozen on I see his video, but he's frozen. Let's get Toba on. What's going on, Toba?
Hi, Chris.
I know you're excited. First off, awesome to have you on the channel. I met you at FanFest.
Yes.
Great experience getting to meet you, getting to meet your friends. I thought your friend was crazy because you were wearing a sweatshirt. It was 90 degrees out, but it was a blast getting to meet you, and I'm excited for you. And yeah, tell me your thoughts. You hear me, buddy? Toba, I don't think you see me. You hear me?
You one more time. You were kind of. Yeah, I see you.
Oh, you see me? Okay. What's up, man?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Hello?
I think you're breaking up a bit. You hear me?
Hey, Chris. All right, there you go.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yep, I hear you.
All right, good.
I'm so happy. I just want to sing my heart out today, but I'm not going to do that because it's late and my roommates are trying to sleep.
I hear you, man. What's your biggest takeaway from this game?
Saquon's him. But we already knew that. I was sick of everyone on Twitter saying that he wasn't, that Saquon's washed. But he finally proved tonight that he's back and better than ever. I mean, I don't blame them for having doubts, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, Saquon was a beast today, man. I don't want to wake up your roommates. I don't want to be too loud. I don't want to wake up your roommates. But what do you think about?
I have AirPods in. They can't hear you.
You think we're gonna start 2-0? You think we'll beat Carolina?
I feel like God just loves proving me wrong. So if I say we're going to lose the game, we're actually going to win. So I'm going to tell you
right now, Toba. I'm going to tell you right now, Toba. I'm going to take that same exact mindset. If you watch my channel, what you do, I'm very superstitious. Mm-hmm. So next week, I'm wearing the same jersey. I'm wearing the same hat. And I'm going to pick the Giants to lose. Because I picked the Giants to lose week 1. They won. Even though I was prepared to pick them to beat Carolina week 2, I'm going to follow it up. I'm going to pick them to lose again because I don't want to change anything.
Exactly.
So I'm going to pick the Panthers.
And I'm not going – and I didn't get to go to church today, so I'm not going to church for the rest of the season. I'm not sure if that's a good or bad idea. But we'll see what happens. 1
week at a time, man.
All right. I'm gonna let you go. I got to do homework because I stayed and watched the game. I have to suffer the consequences because I want to because I want to actually graduate and become John Mayer's lawyer for when Giants fans have to find him on the street and beat him up. So I'll let you go, Chris.
All right, Toby, be good, man, and good luck in law school. Be good, man.
Thank you.
Toby's the man. And Kyle says, I think a big part of us winning was great coaching. Daboll, Wink, Kafka, not like I agree. That's probably the biggest reason, to be honest with you, Kyle. I mean, obviously you got to give the players credit, like Saquon Barkley and so on and so forth. But I think the coaching deserves a ton of credit week one, and a lot of the adjustments that they made came out with a good game plan. We're willing to make to change things up with it. Things were not working at halftime. Nations, what's up, man? Nations. I'm going to get back to nations. Let's try Joshua.
Oh,
Joshua, what's going on, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. Loud and clear.
Yeah. I hope you don't mind if I get a little analytical, because I really like to talk sports, and I actually was on a Knicks one of you before. It was a long time ago, but so I really was feeling like Bills Giants Super Bowl vibes for that missed field goal at the end there. That's how I felt like at the end there. I was like, man, it was like,
or even the Tampa Bay game in Jones's first start, right?
What was that again?
Jones's first start too. It was kind of reminiscent of when the
Bucks
missed the field.
I think this game specifically made me aware that this offense is getting to be partly the real deal compared to the old offense, because the Jason Garrett offense and everything like that, I was expecting, screen pass, run the ball, screen pass, run the ball, screen pass, run the ball. The one thing I think we don't talk about enough, and I think we should do more often with Daniel Jones, and I think is more of a strong suit of his that we don't talk about, is if we can get them to block and we let him air it out, not like a 10-yard pass, not like a 15-yard pass. If we let him throw that ball down the field, a lot of the times good things happen. I noticed. I have not seen many like 30-plus yard Daniel Jones throws that at least either are just incomplete or are caught by us. I've not seen many interceptions. And I know a couple years back, he had really good deep ball accuracy. He was like top 11, 12 with deep ball accuracy. I mean,
I think he was higher than that. I think if I remember correctly, he was like top 3 or 4. Now, I always thought that stat was a bit misleading because he didn't throw a ton of deep balls. So when he
Why
did,
don't we?
Yeah, exactly. But he was probably more efficient than most quarterbacks because when he did, it was probably, a really good opportunity. But yeah, he's always throwing a good deep ball for sure. And if you're asking me the reason why we don't,
is the line.
I think the major reason the line is horrible. And today, people were saying that in the chat today during the live stream. They're like, why isn't Jones throwing the ball down the field more? I'm like, have you watched the time that this offensive line is given to operate? You need some time to be able to throw the ball down the field. But what I will say, if Saquon Barkley continues to play at this level, it's going to help the offensive line and it's going to help the passing game because they're going to have to pay more attention to that aspect of the game. It's going to give the Giants better opportunities. Kind of like what we were worried about as Giants fans going into this game. We were going to have to pay extra attention to Derrick Henry. It was going to create one-on-one matchups on the outside with very little help to the wide receivers.
Another thing we didn't talk about enough today is King Henry. Where was he? Where was he?
Defense showed up, man.
No one. We're not talking about it as much. Like if it was just like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'd be like, okay, what a big deal. But King Henry, that's a guy that was like a top 3 running back in the league, and he didn't look like himself today. Like I saw him get popped today, like 2 or 3 times. Like he got popped, not him popping somebody else. And I'm like that's like aggressive defense. And I was afraid about this defense before. I think that's the thing we have to be more concerned about more than the offense, which is crazy for me to say. I was scared when we lost Bradbury. I was scared when we lost Blake Martinez. I was like, why did we just drop him?
Right.
And then of course, when Thibodeau went down, I was like, oh boy, well, that season's over. I had us around 7-10. And as soon as I saw that offense, I'm like, okay. I saw the defense. I'm like, we're stopping the run. I'm like, okay. We kept in it. It was like, we never really were up ahead, but we weren't super behind. Like we were always at least in the running. We were always there. We were like that fly that won't go away. It's just there. You can't get rid of it. And then eventually it just gets you. Like it will get you. Like the mosquito will get you. Like we were always there. We were always getting closer and closer and closer, and we were making every mistake count, except obviously the Daniel Jones interception. But I think that is one time we have to get a big signing more involved. Kenny Golladay. Where is this man? Another guy. Where is this man? We're paying all this money, and where's the touchdowns? I don't think he's got one yet. Has he got one?
Nope, not one. Got to find a way to get him more involved in this offense, and hopefully, as the line gets better, which it should over the course of the year, we find a way to get him more involved in this offense. Because that's the thing that I think is most encouraging for me, though, is I expect this offense to start slow. I expected that 2 months ago. I expect the first 3 or 4 weeks, this offense is not going to be close to a finished product. It's going to take some time. So that's why I always said I'm going to give them at least 3 or 4 weeks before I really start to be really judgmental about this offense. But there were aspects about this offense today that were encouraging. The main one being Barkley and the run blocking in general. But I do think
for me, as I actually had Saquon against me in fantasy today. So like I felt like a horrible person because when that interception happened, when he was throwing it to Saquon for a touchdown, like when he intercepted it, I was like, I want to say no, but at the same time, I would have been like 10 points for the other guy. So I'm like, but then when we won, I'm like, you know what? If he puts up like 40 points, I don't care because I want the Giants to win. I can win fantasy next week. So.
Yeah, exactly. Screw fantasy. You gotta put your team ahead of your fantasy team. But yeah, man, I'm super excited. Hopefully they beat Carolina next week. I just want to say thank you so much for popping in. I'm just trying to get to as many people as I can because I gotta get.
The last one I just wanted to let you know about, it just on the way out is, I think we need to let Daniel Jones, if we're going to give Saquon it, they're going to start like just expecting it. So I think the thing we need to do with Daniel Jones, that another thing he's underrated at, we don't do enough with him, is he's with the running capabilities. Like he's a worse version of Josh Allen with his running capability. He can run the ball. He can run. Why don't we do more read options?
Today they did. Today they.
I saw that. I'm like, I want to see more read options with Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
like, I really do. That'll really misdirect it.
I just worry about him getting hurt. But but no, they did. They actually did more of that than I thought they would today. And hopefully, if Barkley continues to play like this, it's only going to give Jones better opportunities in the read option because you're going to have to overcommit to Barkley, and it may open up better running lanes for Jones. But buddy, I'm going to say thank you so much for the calling in. Enjoy the win. Thank you for being a great supporter. And hopefully we get to do more of these throughout the year and I get to talk to you again.
Have a good night.
Be good, Joshua. Awesome. I just want to see. Let's get Max on. What's up, Max?
What's going on, Chris? We did it. We are 1-0. Despite our pessimistic predictions yesterday, they proved us wrong and took the win.
Which means next week we got to continue to be pessimistic.
Yeah, exactly. So next week we lose 77-0. Is that what's happening? Or
yeah. Right now, whatever it takes, I'm picking the Panthers to win. Whatever it takes, if that's going to result in a Giants win, that's what I'm rolling with.
But I saw some people in here asking about Evan Neal and how we thought he performed. I know a lot of people might not like PFF, but I did see the numbers came out for him today. Okay. On 31 pass blocking snaps. Okay. He allowed 1 pressure.
That's great.
So I know Harold Landry wasn't out there. He might not have been facing the best competition.
At the end of the day, a rookie.
Right.
And keep in mind, Max, who does he got playing next to him? I mean, Mark Lewinsky's okay. But it's not like he's got it, so that's great. He only gave 1 pressure the whole game in pass protection. That's awesome.
Yep. So is Richie James our wide receiver 1? Like what's going on here?
Yeah, that was the biggest question as the game was progressing is why is Richie James being so involved and Toney's not? I still got to think Toney's going to have a much bigger role. I think it has more to do with the fact that Toney probably didn't play a whole lot in training camp, and they probably felt like he wasn't accustomed to the scheme well enough week 1. But I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I just see if this continues another week or two that people are going to start being Pat Leonard believers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. yeah. But yeah, you mean that they want him out of town? I'm not.
I'm saying that there might have been some truth to what he was saying. Yeah.
It's possible. I'm sure the Giants were open to trading him if the right deal presented itself.
Right.
But I still think he's going to be a big part of this offense this year.
I sure hope so. Richie James, I mean, he had some flair out there with some plays. He looked decent, but I still think Kadarius Toney is just far better.
I see Triflin saying because they were doubling Toney all game, James was open. Okay, but Toney wasn't out there. He only had 7 snaps the entire game. He only played for 7 snaps the entire game. And 2 of them, he was involved. When he was out there, he was involved, but he only had 7 snaps the whole game, which is insane to me, Max.
Yeah, absolutely. So Saquon Barkley is obviously the biggest talk of New York Giants football today. 194 yards from scrimmage, averaging 9.1 yards per carry today. Pretty insane, especially with how terrible the interior of the offensive line was looking. But I think the real highlight for me as a Giants fan is this defense today, man. They weren't great. They had some sloppy moments, lots of penalties at the end that could have led to us losing that game, realistically, if, that field goal ended up getting through the uprights. But I expected this defense to be terrible based on the personnel.
If I'm being honest,
yep. And I mean, they, like I said, they weren't great, but they sure as heck held their own.
They did as well as you could have hoped for without Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari.
100%.
They held Derrick Henry to 80 yards on 21 carries and basically nothing in the second half. So the defense deserves just as much credit as Saquon. Like, they were just as instrumental in this win as Saquon was.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that comes to Wink and his obviously his defensive game plan.
100%. I won't clog up your lines. I know you're trying to get people in here and get to bed yourself, but I just wanted to kind of touch base. Did you ever end up chugging that beer? I heard you talking about it at Bad Dogs. Okay.
Yeah, I downed the beer at the beginning of the stream.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Yeah, Max. Be good, man. Enjoy the win, buddy.
Oh, yeah, you too.
All right. Let's get Independent Outsider on. What's going on, man?
Yo, what's up? So first off, I have to say that every single week now, I'm going to have to miss the game and watch the replay because I missed the game. I had to do my thing, on Sundays. And then, all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell? The first quarter I was watching with you guys. First off, I understand Josh was saying, why doesn't Daniel Jones run more? He cannot completely rely on his legs. He just can't do it. He's going to get hurt. I don't want that. And you have to use your receivers. Personally, I think you need to start getting some quick outs and quick passes, and don't rely on the long ball too much. I'll hit the highlights that I saw. First off, the reaction that Jones had to getting chewed out was fantastic. Getting down at the way they ran that red zone, you'd never see that with Judge. You'd never see that. You'd never a tight end, as I said in the chat, a tight end catching a freaking winning catch and then going for 2. You wouldn't see that with Judge. You just wouldn't do it. The negatives, of course, I didn't see the interception, but of course I saw the strip fumble. He's got to clean that stuff up, obviously.
The fumble, and maybe a lot of people in the chat are going to disagree with me, and I understand he has a history of fumbling a lot. I understand that. I didn't put that fumble on Daniel Jones, and maybe I got to go back. And maybe I actually didn't watch the replay in live time. Jones didn't even finish his drop back, and as a quarterback, you can't expect the interior of your offensive line to get blown up that quickly. Like, I didn't put that one on Jones. There's gonna be times where Jones deserves it. I didn't think he deserved it on that one.
What did people expect with a decimated offensive line? Yeah, you have 2 guys that you really expect to be there for a decade and be your top tier guys. I get that, but the interior is going to be plug and play for the whole season, pretty much, probably. And my biggest take on it is, thank God nobody got hurt. Thank God there were no offensive line injuries, first off. Second off, the first game that the Giants actually win without having to worry about a missed field goal or a holding, losing on a holding call, I'm going to be happy with that. I'll have to Saquon, yeah, of course. Hats off to Mayring, by the way, getting that catch. That was great. But let's nobody's mentioned Jihad Ward, D-Law. Those guys play fantastic. I
For sure.
am very, very nervous with Aaron Robinson. I will continue to be nervous with Aaron
I'm
Robinson.
extremely nervous with Aaron Robinson, but what I'll say today, without watching all 22 in the game film and getting a real look at how he did in coverage, I didn't get the feeling that he was getting destroyed, which is good.
He got beat a couple of times, and there was that one play where people were flipping out because he didn't get I don't think he got an interference call on that one play, on that one pass.
Yeah. He kind of tripped, and they didn't call it a pass interference because of that, because inadvertent contact. But yes, he got beat on that play. Yes, good point.
He did, but okay. But I do have to say, I was one of those guys, that Authentic was saying, Henry. I was saying Henry. I called it 28-23 because I thought Henry was going to get 2 touchdowns, and and that we were going to get held, and we were going to be like three field goals. I still hold that if we can hold people to less than 24 points, we have a real shot. We always do. I don't know why.
No, I know. I mean, a decent offense in the NFL should be able to score 24 points. So yes.
Well, my fear with that is their offensive line really has to gel.
Yes.
And they have to find some of these guys, some of these journeyman guys are going to have to hold it for a while. We're not going to pick up, we're not going to. Darnay Holmes actually, they had a couple of good plays. He wasn't awful the entire game.
I was actually going to agree with Zendeline for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
I thought Darnay, if you're gonna point to one guy in the secondary today, I would say he was the guy that I thought struggled the most.
I saw him have a stop or two, but he wasn't, not the whole game, but he was not consistent at all.
And the other thing I noticed is they and they've done this to Darnay Holmes in the past. I remember when we played the Bears in like 2019 or 2020, they were consistently putting Allen Robinson in the slot to try to expose him. And I noticed that the Titans were doing the same thing because they saw that they were really being able to take advantage of Darnay Holmes. So I'll say that I thought Aaron Robinson played pretty well without getting really watched the film.
But I do get nervous. I do get nervous with him. What I will say is that when you guys were streaming, I thought Bad Dog was going to pull out the scotch and just chug it when freaking Galladay got a catch, got that 8-yard catch. It was like, oh my god! But I mean, not for nothing. The second that they're able to get rid of Galladay, they will get rid of Galladay. Listen. If he gets a touchdown or two, yippee! But the second that he was on film criticizing Daniel Jones for his timing, I was like, give me a break. You're getting paid a lot of money to adjust to those throws. So just shut up, make your money, and make those catches. But I mean, I do think that one final point. I think that the receiving core, you're going to need one more piece there, but you still need to get the guards. I wish we could have gotten Linderbaum, but I'm okay. I'm okay with Wandale. I am, but I wish we could have gotten Linderbaum because the interior is going to kill us all year.
Oh, the interior is gonna be an issue.
It's going to be an issue. Now, I always said 3-year plan. This is a 3-year plan. I'm praying that everybody wants DJ gone. I don't want DJ gone. That means a 4-year plan at least, because you're going to have to put a rookie quarterback in there and be patient with him, with probably not a complete offensive line again. And who knows? Do you think that if, let's just say, for argument's sake, Saquon plays the way that Saquon played today, do you think that they're going to be able to extend him?
I think, I
don't
think
know.
I think they could find a way if they really want to. But I think it's more likely they'll extend Saquon if they don't keep Jones, which is obvious, right? Because you're not committing quarterback money. So if Jones is back, I think it lessens the probability that Saquon is as well. Because it's hard to say, let's pay $35 million to Jones on the franchise tag or whatever it may be, and then pay a running back the amount of money that Barkley would be able to command. So I think the probability of Barkley
picking up on
go
picking
ahead.
up on what Joshua said, I agree that you can't overuse Barkley either. You have to spread it out a little bit. So, if teams start seeing that Barkley's being overused, then they're gonna do what we did to Derrick Henry, to be honest with you, and they're just gonna key on him. We do have receivers. And Richie James, David Sills, I love that because that shows that Daniel Jones is finding new spots to throw. That's great. So I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for the
Man.
time.
No, I appreciate you for calling in. I appreciate all the support you always show. And man, I hopefully Daniel Jones continues to grow and the Giants surprise people this year.
And thank God for NFL Plus. A little plug for NFL Plus because I was like, I can't find anywhere to
They just came
stream.
out, right? Just their first year with NFL Plus, right?
Yep. $10 a month. That's not bad for like a short season, an NFL season.
That's not bad at all.
It's not bad. And I do my thing, so I miss a lot of these games. Now I'm just gonna pour over every single play, and I love analyzing this stuff. So I'm glad we won, but I know that there's a lot of work to do.
Of course.
I know people are giddy about it, but Carolina is not a given. The other thing is, yes, these wins are great, but we got to win the games that we're expected to win too.
I completely agree with that.
And I sometimes I don't see it.
Hey, it's one game at a time, but I agree with you. Like we're all excited today. We're gonna all be excited tomorrow, as we should be. Team hasn't started 1-0 forever. We beat a good team today on the road, but it's back to business on Tuesday, and we got to find a way to beat Carolina. That's a game. If we're gonna surprise this year and make the playoffs, that's a game you have to win.
Honestly, I see 8 wins.
Yeah,
that's what I see. That's what I've seen the whole time. We have a week schedule. That's what I see. But we do have to beat Carolina to keep this train going. So thanks.
You got it, man. Thanks so much for popping in, buddy. Be good.
Yep.
And I agree. No one game is a given, especially when you have a team like we're any team in the NFL. You saw it today. Chicago Bears beat the 49ers. 49ers were this close to going to the Super Bowl last year. So any given Sunday, the phrase is beyond accurate. So I agree. We can't take anybody for granted. Danny, man, thank you very much. Stand up, new member. Welcome to the squad, man. I appreciate it, buddy. And I'm going to have a couple more guys on. I know there's been a couple people waiting. I'm not going to be able to have everybody because I gotta get to bed soon. But let's get King Casper on. What's going on, man?
Hey, good evening, Chris. How's everything?
Good to hear from you, buddy. What's going on, man?
Hey, doing good. I just want to say just real quick, hope all the Giants fans are having a great day. At least for me, just to put it out there, I'm recently residing in Texas. I'm stationed here. So it's definitely thank you so much. And it's definitely been a blessing to see a win on the first week surrounded by Cowboys fans.
And you're about to see a loss surrounded by Cowboys fans.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be talking about it a lot at work. There's just a few things I wanted to bring up that a lot of people are not bringing up is the connection between Sterling Shepard. I don't think a lot of people are realizing that, but I feel like when you have a wide receiver that's been there, throughout Daniel Jones' whole career, I feel like that's definitely something to take into account because I feel like that's where he gets most of his receptions, connections, and touchdowns from.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and the one guy that wasn't out there today that's always seemed to have pretty good chemistry with Jones too was Slayton. And I don't know if he was a healthy scratch or if he was actually injured, but he wasn't even on the 53 today. So that'll be an interesting development. They had Sills above him. But yeah, there's another guy we should mention. Shepard, of course, had one of the biggest plays of the game. And he's a guy I'm really happy about, right? I mean, he's always seemed like a really good teammate, really good guy. He's just had unfortunate luck with injuries. But,
yeah.
he's definitely a guy that I could see, being a bigger factor with this year's team if he can stay on the field than some people may think.
And another thing I want to bring up with the person that was just speaking, I believe his name was Dave Denton.
Yep.
So what he was saying with, he hopes the Giants doesn't kind of rely on the run. I wouldn't necessarily say the Giants were relying on the run. I think, seeing in the first half that Daniel Jones was throwing, O-line didn't allow him to, but I definitely saw Mike Kafka, try to throw the ball. It was just in the second half, you see Saquon being so successful, you're kind of like, we're kind of forced to keep on running. Yeah, but I definitely, due to the interior O-line, it's kind of hard, but you could definitely see just by the play calls itself that it's way different from last year. The success isn't there yet because of, the trenches, but I can definitely say, me personally, I was falling in love with the play calls and motioning out, certain runner backs, certain wide receivers, the Kadarius Toney run.
There was a lot of plays I noticed where they had at least 5 or 6 plays. I feel where they had both Breida and Barkley out there at once, which was interesting. We didn't see a ton of that last year. In terms, it just brings you that. And I'll say Breida, even though he was used sparingly, obviously, I'm curious actually to look at Breida's stats just from the eye test. While watching him, I was like, actually, he looked pretty good for a backup running back today. So he looked somewhat explosive. Yeah, he had 5 carries for 24 yards. He averaged 5 yards a carry. So I think a lot of credit needs to go for the offensive line too for creating some run holes for these guys. But I'm really excited to see how they grow off this. I agree with you. I don't think this is going to be an offense that just is going to be like you said, is going to rely on the run week to week. This just so happened to be a week where it was working, especially after they made the adjustments at halftime. I always thought going into the year, the first 3 or 4 weeks, we'd be more dependent on the run than we were throughout the rest of the season for the simple reason, new scheme, right? Offensive lines used to one another, pass protection's a lot harder than run blocking. So I thought, but in this game, I really thought we were going to have to throw because I thought they'd stop our run, which they weren't able to do. So it worked out. So I wouldn't be surprised if week 2 you continue to see them try to feature the run a bit more than throwing the football. But by week 4 or 5, I think that's where you'll really hopefully start to see this offense be what we envision as fans, which is going to be a little bit more pass happy than what we've seen in the past.
Definitely. And this is my last thing to say, just, so other people could get on. Queen Henry, I think, has to be his name now. Queen Henry. Because he definitely was not looking like a king out there. I think that's one. I remember last year you and Bad Dog were speaking about identity. And I think the 2 things that we can say now is we may not be the best defense, but we're definitely a hard defense. Kind of like that Patrick Graham defense that we had 2 years ago. We are definitely, stuffing and run, that Queen Henry hit that everyone was talking about. And then with the offense, I can definitely say we're looking more of like a running team when giving it to Saquon or RPO. I'm definitely liking the identity that we're starting to get as a New York Giants team.
Yeah, man, for sure. And you got to tip your cap to the defense. They got the job done. And I think defense will play good next week too. I mean, I look at Carolina. Baker Mayfield doesn't scare me. And McCaffrey's obviously somebody you got to worry about, but I think we can stack up decent with them. I don't think they're going to, score more than say 20 to 24 points. And if the offense shows up, I think we got a good chance to win that game. We'll see.
Definitely winnable. All right, thank you once again, Chris. I'm about to deploy actually in 3 to 4 weeks. So you making these videos, so I won't be able to watch it out there.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
I guess I can say where. I just can't say the time. It's
I don't want to do anything. Yeah,
yeah.
Whatever, but, tell me. But stay safe and thank you for watching the channel.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Have a great day.
Be good, man. Have a good one. And Sebastian, man, thank you very much. He says, awesome win. I know Jones was a roller coaster during the game, but I'm glad he was poised and kept playing well. Hey, listen, he for the most part, he made one really bad decision, right? The interception, and we could talk about that for hours. It was a really bad decision. And we don't know all the specifics. Maybe Barkley ran the wrong route. I don't think so. I think it was just a really bad decision on Jones's part. It was, and he looked down the receiver the entire time. But outside of that, Jones played well. I mean, he was 17 for 21. He had the fumble. That's more on the interior offensive line on that play for me. And He did what he needed to do at the end. He had the game-winning drive. Hopefully, it's something to build off of. Danny, man, thank you very much, man. Great start to the season. First half was a slow start to the point I fell asleep. I think he meant to, first half was a slow to the point where you fell asleep. I woke up after we won, and I was really surprised. NFL Plus is a great service, especially that I live in the Bay Area. Well, that's awesome that you get to watch the game. And thank you for being a great supporter. We're going to get Mets on. I see him raising his hand in the background. What were you singing?
White Horse. It was on the recent Skillet album that came out back in January. I'm a bit of a panhead.
Oh, okay. So what's up, man?
Not much. First off, happy the Mariners came back and beat Atlanta. Stand up Met fans, as well as Mariners fans.
1.5 game lead.
Second, as I guessed, couldn't watch the game on my TV. I got Packers-Vikings instead.
Because you're from North Carolina.
That was National Game of the Week.
Right.
And I was basically, my heart was palpitating in the last minute plus at the end of the game.
Yeah. I mean, it should have been. It should have been.
Saying this game is, why the hell did I get Minnesota Green Bay? That was a 23-7 stomp in favor of Minnesota.
Well, because that was America's game of the week. If you're not in the New York area, and let's be honest, to the broad NFL fan, Packers Vikings is probably more appealing than Giants Titans.
True. I mean, at least next week I don't have that. The next 2 weeks I'm not going to have that issue because at least the Monday night game against Dallas is on the
Monday night game you get no matter what.
Yeah, because that's
and then you live in Carolina, so yeah, you're good to go.
Yeah, but then after that, I can't get another Giant game until at least Thanksgiving at the latest.
Well, hopefully you listen to the streams then if you can't watch it.
True, I do.
I appreciate it. So, what's your main takeaway? What are you most excited about coming out of this game?
If I can nitpick, we cannot have Reggie Gigas levels a slow start in the first half. It's like we're basically running on half gas in the first half, and then we pick it up in the second.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want them to come out stronger next week against Carolina to start the game.
Yeah, I mean,
I get this all the time. I get this all the time, Charles Barkley. I'm a Met fan myself. It's probably because I'm from Long Island. I think a lot of people on Long Island, they grew up on Long Island. It's at least half Mets, half Yankees. The majority of Mets fans are from Long Island or Queens. But I'll tell you what, Charles Barkley, and I know traditionally Yankees and Giants goes together and Mets and Jets goes together. I know a ton of Mets and Giants fans. And I know a ton of Yankees and Jets fans.
Trust me, Chris, I'm in the same boat. I lived in Staten Island until I was 11 when I moved down here to the Carolinas.
Yeah.
And almost every one of my neighbors, I mean, if not all of them, were Yankee and Giant fans.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, that's the pairing.
True.
But anything else, my man?
Let's just hope not only do the Giants skin the Cats next week, let's just hope the Mets do something they haven't been able to do the past couple of times and sweep a shit team. We got the Cubs coming in tomorrow.
Let's go. And let's find a way for the Giants to beat up on Carolina like they did last year.
And personally, while I am concerned about the Braves San Francisco series, it's pretty much clear cut. Braves can kick a sub 500 team's ass. I'm looking at their series against Philadelphia because if there's one team in the division that, aside from us, that has given the Braves fits this year, it's the fucking Phillies.
All right, Mets. Hopefully the Phillies. They got 7 games with the Phillies, I think, right? So
yes,
hopefully the Phillies can be
starting 3, I think, on Thursday, starting on my birthday, which is Friday.
Well, hopefully they do their job and we do ours, and we don't, we start playing better baseball. We're starting to, it seems like. So hopefully we get back on track.
Let's just hope Max gets to win next Monday in Milwaukee. Please, we haven't won a game in 6 years.
We got 21 games left. Let's keep it going. But Mets, man, I'm gonna let you go, buddy.
Night, Chris.
You got it, man. Have a good night. All right, we got 3 more guys we got to get to. We're gonna start with Kalen. Kalen was frozen before. Glad you're not now. What's up, man?
Am I good now? Am I good? I was going like this when I was frozen. If you could.
Let's go, man. You got the Saquon jersey on. Love it.
Is this real? Like, is this real life? I haven't been this happy in so many years. And I had a bunch of people over today watching the game. They're all Eagles fans, so we had the Eagles game on before, and they're all like, "Oh yeah, this is our guy."
Are you from the Philadelphia area?
No, I'm from Central Jersey actually. I go to college here in Hoboken now.
Oh, so maybe that's like half Giants, half Eagles territory.
Yeah, actually, a lot of my friends are Eagles fans, but yeah, they were all over. They were all talking up Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, and the whole time I was just dreading the Giants game when they were. And after that first half, I was like, oh god, here we go again. I'm gonna have to do this for another year. But then talk about deja vu. This is like the exact script of the Bucks game from 2019. Playing like
I
crap
said
in the
earlier,
first
yeah, with the
half.
missed field goal and yep.
Huge play to start the second half, completely different mindset. And then
I just had to show that score.
it's wonderful. I have the game on now. Isn't it great what Dak actually looks like? We don't have to hear Cowboys fans talk about, oh, our guy, this is going to be his year. He's going to show up. Isn't it great? This is what he actually is. And we don't have to.
Now Cowboys fans are getting to see what Dak looks like when he actually has to put the team on his back.
Absolutely. But as far as the game goes today, the two big things that come to mind to me is obviously Saquon. It's so good to see him back, to see him happy. You could tell he was running with a purpose that he hasn't run with since his rookie year or 2019 before he got the high ankle sprain. It was just so good to see him happy again, seeing him dominate in a way that we all knew that he can. Second overall pick. This is why he went second overall, for performances like this. And even especially on the 2-point conversion call, where when you look at it, that should have gotten blown up in the backfield. But Saquon was like, no, I'm putting you on my back. You two defenders, get out of the way. I'm taking this home. We're gonna take the victory.
Yeah, I like the play call, but you're right. Saquon had to kind of go above and beyond to make that play work. You're right.
Yeah. And then the second, Brian Daboll. Considering going from Joe Judge to Brian Daboll, and when they hired it, I liked it, but at the same time, I've been burned so many times by coaches in the past that I didn't want to get my hopes up. But like watching the game, even just looking at the side, every time they panned to Daboll, he had like a grin on his face where he just looked like the moment wasn't too big for him. He's like, oh, this is ho-hum. This is just another day. Here I am. I'm the head coach of the Giants. No big deal. We're going to drive down the field. We're going to go for two. No big deal. We play to win the game. And then I don't know how much you were on Twitter after the game. Did you see Brian Daboll in the locker room dancing?
I did. Yeah, somebody added me on that. I saw it. It was awesome.
Can you imagine Joe Judge ever doing that?
No. Daboll definitely had like that. You could tell the players really like him.
They love him.
Yeah, like that college coach feel to him.
And then I watched a bit of the opener of the press conference, and he went up to the podium like, how's everyone doing? And he's just like, oh, no reaction. He's so good with the media, and he knows how to answer all the questions, and he answered everything right. And it's just so nice to have hope again. It's something we haven't had in such a very long time.
Yeah, man, it's been, and hopefully we continue that, because you and I both know if they lay an egg next week, people are going to be back in the doldrum. So hopefully next week we do what we're supposed to. I think we should beat Carolina at home, and if we do that, when we watch the highlight video the Giants posted, yeah, I'll take a look, Charles Barkley, after this. But hopefully we can double it up next week. I think we got a good chance to beat Carolina, and if we do that, 2-0, you're going to start to see me start to up my expectations for this year. So let's keep it rolling, man. It was a fun game today, and so far Daboll's off to a pretty good start.
Couldn't be better. I know you got some people that have something to argue, but it's nice to be on the stream again. I think the last time I was on was during Nick's trade when you had this guy.
Yes.
And when Dr. Garrett was still the coach.
Yes, I remember, man. I remember when you called him for the Nick stream. Yes, I remember.
I can't use that nickname anymore, but excited for that. Excited for Giants football again. And a shout out to you, man. The streams I got in college, so I'm in the chats. I'm not super chatting or anything, but I'm there listening.
Dude, you just watching the channel means the world. So thank you.
Stay good, man. Let's go Giants, baby. Let's go.
Kalen, get some sleep. Enjoy the win, and let's double it up next week.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Be good, man. I'm gonna pull up the Giants highlights that I think Charles Barkley just asked on Twitter. I'm assuming they just posted it. So let me go to Giants. Saquon's put on a show was right. I see they tweeted that out. I'm looking. The locker room thing I already showed, if that's what you're referring to. Yeah, I don't see it. I just see a bunch of posts, but I don't really see a highlight video. But maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot. Oh, it's on their YouTube page. Okay, yeah, I'll post that. Why not? Hold on. See the highlights of tonight's game real fast. Here we go. New York Giants versus Tennessee Titans week 1. Week 1 highlights. Here we go.
Every moment in life is a bet. Like betting on the...
Let me pause this. Let's share the highlights. Stop screen. Share. There you go. And here we go. Of course, we got an ad. Sorry, guys, for all the ads you got to watch when I post the video. But we should be good here.
It'll be a little hybrid from the Bills. And Kafka coming from KC.
Here's Jones on the run, the slide at the 29-yard line. On second down, swing pass, Barkley out of the backfield, and Barkley fights his way through contact for what we saw his first 2 years.
Yeah, Dak's hurt. I heard. We'll see how serious it is.
Barkley again, getting to the outside. Saquon Barkley first
Dude.
down and more, and shoved out of bounds across the 45-yard line.
To get this drive started.
It's Barkley on first down, a burst up the middle, ran into a blocker. Second down and 5. Jones flush on the run, throws, caught by James, and James lunging for the side.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Start for the Giants inside the 10.
I forgot about that throw. That's a good throw by DJ.
Down 5. Jones flush on the run.
Against his body on the run.
Throws caught by James, and James.
That was the throw at the end of the half. That's right, when he didn't get out of bounds. That was a good throw.
Giants inside the 10. And on first down, Saquon Barkley to the sideline. Barkley
Look at that burst after he gets to the second level.
Speed.
Unbelievable.
Shoved out of bounds near the 20 by Kevin Byard.
And it all started with a huge defensive stop, but watch him just hit this crease and then get to the sideline as fast as possible. Following some big lead blocks right there. Woo. Oh, that has Giants fans excited. They motioned him back in the backfield to see man or zone. They got zone.
Here's Barkley, picks his way
Nice.
into the end zone.
Nice cutback.
Head over heels for the Giants touchdown.
And you see Daniel Jones. He's got to get up in here and make a big boy block. And don't forget, sometimes on the goal line, it's BYOB. Not bring your own
Look at
beer,
this.
but be your own blocker and block those guys. It's blocking Jeffrey Simmons. Bring your own beer, but
This is all Saquon. Look at this.
he's got to get up in here and make a big boy block. And don't forget, sometimes
Where's he running? There's nothing.
on the goal line, it's BYOB. Not bring your own
Boom.
beer, but be your own blocker and
Awesome.
block those guys. It's blocking Jeffrey Simmons. It's blocking the base front seven.
Open, Shepard all alone. Shepard breaks a tackle and into the end zone. Sterling Shepard. Huge play.
Looking in the backfield, just watch his eyes. Right there, he's looking in the backfield, expecting a cut. He thought, no way, he's going on the go ball. And Sterling Shepard, welcome to the party. I mean, Giants fans got to be going crazy right now. Let's see if we can handle this kick before we get too excited.
To adverse circumstances.
Good to see
Solid
Shep
so
involved.
far. Tannehill on the roll, looking, pumps Tannehill down at the 23. First contact came from Tamon Fox. No gain on the play, so no sack. And it'll bring up third
Good to
down.
see Fox get a sack today, right?
Toney
Undrafted free agent.
The give to Toney. And Toney weaving through traffic. Kadarius Toney.
Need to see more of that.
all the way
Need to
to
see
the
him more next week.
34-yard line as we check in with a game break. Jamie Gillen to punt it away.
having to overcome so many negative plays, penalties, and negative runs.
Phillips a muff. Ball loose inside the 15. Giants have it.
You see some of these Giant fans, hands to the heavens, thanking the football gods for that break.
What a turn of event. Huge play here. And they'll give on a tight end around to Okonkwo. On a tight end around. You have Derrick Henry in the backfield on 3rd and 1.
With Derrick Henry and take our chances inside.
4th and 5. Now you punt it away to the Giants. Richie James fields it at the 5. James
This is
was
a big punt
great in
return.
front. And
He got like
James
23,
across the
24 yards in
25,
that return.
Cunningham will bring him down at the 27, a 58-yard punt. So it's been Richie James who has stepped up in the void as Barkley.
Look at that, man.
Saquon Barkley
Oh.
on the run. Ball poked free.
Got lucky there.
The ball goes out of bounds. It's Barkley off the play fake. Jones to the end zone, touchdown. Chris Myrick, his 2nd career touchdown.
And Daniel Jones with a strike to pull his Giants within 1.
James the motion man. Shovel.
Look at this. Hold on.
James the motion man. Shovel.
Dead.
Barkley breaks the tackle. Dives in for 2. Giants take the lead.
Oh.
Just a rollout here with Richie. They try and trick him. Cole, number 53, has him in the backfield. And look at Saquon just hit that bubble. That play's supposed to hit up inside. That play never
Wayne
bounces.
Gallman ain't doing that.
And of course, never say never. Knock the ball around a little after this play.
Tannehill just going to center it. Try to
This
center
was a
it.
huge
is
play.
stopped. Now they've got to
Losing
hurry.
those 3
No
yards was a
timeouts
huge play. But there you go. There's the highlights, guys. There's the highlights, guys. But that was a huge play. Those 2 or 3 yards before the kick. King John, I want to pull up the leading receivers for Carolina today. They still have DJ Moore, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. McCaffrey, DJ Moore. He only had 1 catch today for 7 yards. Oh no, that was rushing. I'm sorry. They got Robbie Anderson, obviously the former Jet. He had 102 yards today. DJ Moore at 43 yards. Those are their 2 guys. Their 2 main guys are going to be Anderson, Moore, and then McCaffrey. Obviously, you got to worry about him in the pass catching game, King John. So those are the 3 main weapons. So pretty good. They got decent weapons. And DJ, man, thank you very much. He says, great win. We showed heart and balls. Imagine when Tibbs and Aziz get back. We could be okay. P.S. If you want to catch a game, I have seasons. Let me go. Dude, I appreciate the offer, man. I appreciate the offer. I'll let you know. I was going to go to the Bears game. I still might. But if I'm definitely now deciding I'm going to go to the I forgot what game it is, but I'm going to go to the game that Bobby and Justin are going to. I think it's in December. I want to say it's against Washington. They're doing a tailgate. So if I only go to one game, it's probably going to be that game, but I may go to the Bears game as well. I don't know yet. But I'm going to get 2 more guys on. What's up, Justin, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you, man. Whose jersey you got on?
The man who scored the game tying TD.
Awesome,
to
man.
2-point conversion.
And the go-ahead 2-point conversion.
Yeah. So incredible game.
Yep, for sure.
There's one thing I want to the thing I want to take back on this game is Richie James.
What you talking about, like the surprise guy that broke out today?
Yeah, Richie James, because I feel like he could be our kick returner for the future.
I hope so. He's still young, isn't he? He's how old is he? He's like 20. Let me look. I like that pickup when we made it, because if you go back and look at Richie James, he has some potential. I forgot what round he was drafted in, but he had a couple of big games with the 49ers, one of which is kind of like the Toney game last year where he had like 180 yards receiving. And I thought he could definitely add some to our special teams. And when I saw him in training camp, I was impressed with him. I think he's a guy that he was a 7th round pick. He was a guy that I thought would really fit this offense, especially if a guy like Toney went down. or a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson went down, which unfortunately we saw today. But I feel like he's a kind of a natural replacement for one of those guys if they get hurt. So I like Richie James. He played well today.
That's why I was wondering, like, who was? I saw someone leave on the cart, like the cart, medical cart, when they were going to a turn. I didn't know who that was. Is that Wan'Dale?
I know Wan'Dale got hurt, but supposedly after the game they said he was completely fine. I don't know if that means he's definitely going to play next week, but they said he was fine. I don't remember the medical card, but I'm drawing a blank right now.
Okay. Another thing I want to take back is the touchdown to before the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
That reminds me of in 20, I think it was the championship game against the 49ers when it was Manning. He threw the touchdown to Bear Pasco. Like no one expected Bear Pasco to have a touchdown.
Yeah,
because I think he had no touchdowns up until the championship game.
Pasco,
I can't remember. Chris Myrick. I feel like that was like. What was
he
that?
caught a touchdown last year for us against the Eagles. You remember he caught it between his legs.
Oh, that's right. But like he's like not known for like he's like
not.
one of the players that not known for like having touchdowns. So I feel like that was like Bear Pasco.
Yeah, I mean he's not there to be a pass catcher. He's there to be a blocker. But yeah, if you would have told me he was going to be the guy that caught the biggest touchdown of the game, I would have called you crazy. So yeah, it was good to see him catch the game-winning catch.
What I was gonna say, I was at the Bengals preseason game this year where I saw in front of me a couple of rows where Sam Prince was in front of me. And I didn't get to say hi to him, but like I saw his name, like his jersey on, like the jersey. I was like, that's Sam Prince. I was like, that's so cool. I wanted to go say hi to him.
I've gotten to meet Sam. Hopefully, I have him back on the channel. I just got to reach out to him. I'm sure he'd come on. I've gotten to meet Sam a couple of times. He's a really nice guy. I met him at training camp, and then I met him at I actually sat next to him at training camp for the whole day. He was a nice kid.
I saw that video of you sitting next to him at training camp.
Oh yeah. And then I met him at FanFest too. And he's a really nice guy.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, that Daniel Jones interception. That was just the only thing that was negative today.
Yeah, I mean, Darnay Holmes, I think the interior offensive line, specifically Ben Bredesen, like there's areas. I don't think this is a night to harp on the negative because we're all excited and it was overall it's definitely more positive than negative. But there was definitely areas today where you looked at it and you said that these are things they need to work on. But overall, you got to be really excited about the overall effort.
As soon as As soon as they were gonna kick the field goal, like when Tennessee was about to kick it, I was like, I was like thinking like maybe we'll get the 2019 flashback. Maybe there's a chance he's gonna miss it.
Yeah. I in the back, I didn't say it, but because I didn't want to jinx anything. But in the back of my head, I thought the same thing. I'm like, all right, we've seen this before. Maybe we'll get it again. But buddy, I'm gonna let you go just because it's getting late and I got to get up really early tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for all the support. Congratulations
Thank you.
No, thank you, man. And enjoy the win tonight, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, thank you. I'll probably be on again for another stream.
Hey, next time we win, I'll definitely do this again. Hopefully, I get to talk to you.
All right, see ya.
Be good, Justin. All right, we got one more. We got Sam. Just got on.
What's up, man?
What's going on, buddy?
How you doing?
How am I doing? We're 1-0. How do you think I'm doing?
Man, we haven't felt this in a while. At least since when you guys have been on YouTube, because you started 2019, right?
I started 20. I didn't start during the 2018 off season, so like I didn't do. I wasn't on when we drafted Barkley, but I started his rookie year.
Speaking of him, he looked crazy today. It was so fun after he got the 2-point conversion when you seen him get in that guy's face.
Yeah,
man. We haven't seen that since his rookie year in Jacksonville when he shrugged Jalen Ramsey and he did that. I feel like he's having fun again. Like you said earlier, I don't think he likes football.
Last year, I especially during the post-game interviews, I got the sense that he was like almost depressed. Like I was like, he doesn't even seem like he enjoys playing football right now. And to see him out there today playing the way he did, it's awesome, man. You know, you got to be a complete jerk if you're not happy for Saquon Barkley today after everything he's had to overcome. So I was really happy for
him. When you get back healthy, another unfortunate injury happens. His has just all been unlucky. It's not like the same thing's getting injured over and over.
Yeah, he's had bad luck. Now, last year, the injury against the Cowboys was bad luck. I've seen a lot of people say this to me. Yeah, I'm not watching the game. I'm never going to celebrate when somebody gets hurt. So, if anybody's like happy that he got, I'm not. Obviously, it gives us a better opportunity to beat him week 3, but I don't know the severity of the injury. Hopefully, he's okay. Yeah, that gives us a better opportunity to win week 3. Obviously, if he's not playing, but we'll see about that. I know he's out of the game right now. I'm not watching it, but from what you guys are telling me, Dak Prescott's hurt. And we'll see. We'll keep tabs on that. But sorry, Sam, go ahead.
The Dak Prescott injury, it was to his throwing arm too.
So he may miss significant time. I mean, I'm not watching the game, so I don't know. I don't know how bad it looks, and I'm sure we'll hear things after the game. But if he's out week 3, you got to figure the Giants are favored at home. I mean, we saw what Dallas looked like when he wasn't in the lineup, and with all the other players they're missing on that team, Tyron Smith and everybody else, you got to figure the Giants probably be favored in that game.
Today, and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but Tennessee's better than Carolina. They're better than the Bears, and they're better than the Cowboys without Dak Prescott.
I think they're at least equal with the Cowboys, even with Dak Prescott, with a lot of the players that Dallas.
If everything breaks right for us, we could start off 4-0, and then who knows? Once you're 4-0, you have that 4 or 5 week stretch in the middle of the season where you play those 4 really bad teams. We could win 8 games very easily this year.
It's about getting to 2-0 before we can start thinking about 4-0. But here's what I'll say: if we beat Carolina and you're playing Dallas without Dak, yes, 4-0 is very possible. But we got to beat Carolina first. But something to definitely build off of today.
Main question. We've seen that a lot more cap space, right?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up, Sam. What'd you say?
More cap space, right?
You said something about cap space.
Let me try to fix this. Hello?
Yep. I hear you better now.
All right. So next year, since we have a good amount of cap, and hypothetically, I don't think it happens, but if Lamar Jackson were to hit free agency, do you think that we should go all in?
No. I know a lot of Giants fans want to go after him. My answer is no. The first question I got to ask myself if Lamar Jackson hits free agency is why did Baltimore let him hit free agency? Because you tell me a 26-year-old quarterback in the history of the NFL that a team's just let hit free agency. So my quick answer to you would be no. I think Lamar Jackson's a damn good quarterback. But I would rather, if we're looking for a new quarterback next year, I'd rather get one in the draft. I'd rather use my draft capital to go up and get a guy and pay him on the rookie salary than pay Lamar Jackson $45-50 million, whatever the guy's asking for. You saw the deal that he turned down today. So I think in the end, it's fantasy land anyway for anybody that thinks Lamar Jackson's possible. He's going back to Baltimore. If he has a good year this year, they're going to pay him. I'd be shocked if they didn't. But no, I don't. I'm not one that is going to want to give him $50 million a year.
Would you be in favor if we're, let's just say, in the same spot as San Francisco to give up as much as they did to go get our guy?
Yeah, if we believe in a quarterback, I think we will do that if the opportunity presents itself. If you believe in a quarterback, you do everything in your power to go up and get him. Always. But you got to be fully bought in.
I think we'd have to move up to about 3 like how the Niners did, because I think one of them will go number 1 or 2 for sure. And then Will Anderson, I think, goes either 1 or 2 as well. So I think to get your pick from the top 2 quarterbacks, you got to move up to the top 3. And I think that costs you, like it did San Francisco, that year's and then the next 2 years, first round picks.
That's something where we'll cross at the end of the year if we feel like we need a quarterback, and if we feel like there's a quarterback worth trading up and giving up that much. But my short answer to you is, and this without knowing where we're going to be picking, how Jones is going to play, how these prospects are going to play. If you feel the need to draft a quarterback, and there's a guy that you feel has the upside of a Pat Mahomes, of a Josh Allen, of a Justin Herbert, which is the only reason why you should be willing to give up that much draft capital in the first place and draft a quarterback that early, you do it. Because in the NFL, you got one of those guys that's as good as gold. So if they are fully bought into one of these prospects and they feel the need to draft a quarterback, you do what you got to do to go up and get him.
Yeah, I don't want Daniel Jones to fail. Obviously, I hope he wins the MVP this year. But we've seen, even today, he hasn't learned. He just keeps staring guys down, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. It's year 4. We know what he is. So hopefully he does his best. He does better than what we've seen so far, but I think he's gone no matter what this year. Even if we sneak into the playoffs and he has a decent year, I think he's gone. Because I don't know. Think he's worth $40 million.
I would agree with you, but I don't know that for a fact. If we make the playoffs, I don't know. If we don't make the playoffs, yeah, I think there's a very high chance he won't be back here. But if we make the playoffs, you don't force a quarterback pick. I say it all the time. And there may not be a trade available to trade up that far. You're talking about jumping from 20 to – so at that point, it's very possible we could franchise tag him. But that's not something I'm even going to think about until the end of the season. We won today. I'm excited about Carolina. We take it 1 week at a time. And that's something I worry about the offseason. Right now, we got a 1-0 football team. Let's keep rolling.
We're on pace for 17-0.
Let's go. But, Sam, I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to wrap it up with the chat. But, yeah, man, let's beat Carolina. Let's get the 2-0, man.
I have a good one.
And thanks for calling in, man. Actually, I got one more. One more guy just popped in late. Be good. And Independent says, I was wrong. Holmes was awful. Yeah, Holmes was bad today. Hopefully he improves. But he was definitely one of the weak links on the defense today. But what's going on, LV Live, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Hey, what's going on, Chris, man? Hey, listen, man. Everybody, please hit that like, share, subscribe button for my guy, Chris, all right? Please.
Appreciate it, man.
No, absolutely. Hey, listen, man. I did my show right after the game, and listen, watching those highlights, man, I just I felt like I was watching the game all over again. The screaming and hollering I was doing, just the excitement. It feels fabulous, man, to be here. To be pretty much to a team that I feel, our rightful place is at the top of this league, right? Just the history of the Giants, the last 5 years, right, been terrible. So to have a win like this, it feels the way it should, right? Yeah. Feels like that old feeling, which is fabulous. Hey, listen, Saquon. That's all I can say, right? I think if people really want to know the truth, he had an ACL injury, right? If you guys know, I'm sure you know, Chris, back in the 70s and 80s, that was your career, right? You had an Achilles or ACL, that was it. So it still is the same injury, guys. So it really takes, because I have one, it takes really 2 years.
You had an ACL tear?
Yeah, ACL reconstruction. So it takes really 2 years. Your year back, you feel okay. You still got to wear like the knee brace, but you're not fully the same player until year 2. So I was, just because personally what I know, I was really excited for this year because I said, okay, he should be 100% back. And when I heard preseason him saying, I was watching those old Penn State tapes, I said, okay, he's feeling like himself.
You get an opportunity to watch his interview when he sat down.
Right.
There's nobody I'm rooting harder for than him. He seems like such a great guy, great teammate, and I think he got the short end of the stick with a lot of members of this fan base that blamed him for the problems of this football team. And I'm excited for him to have a game like today, man. I'm so excited for him. And I just hope, even if he doesn't remain a Giant after this year, which I hope he does, but if he doesn't, I hope him nothing but success going forward. He's always been the epitome of what I want a New York Giant to be. A great teammate, a guy that's always had Daniel Jones' back from the start. I always remember, we'll always remember that about him. And he always uplifts his teammates. He's a damn good player, super talented.
But Chris, listen, I'm telling you right now, if he plays, he's not going anywhere. Okay, there's no
I
way.
hope so, man. I want him to be here.
We're not letting him go. There's no way. Here, listen, if we remember back to what he was in 2018, the way you don't see a back like that. He's a once in a lifetime type of player, but he has to be healthy. If he's healthy, there's no one better.
He's got to play 17 games.
Right. There's no one better than him. Right. So to me, he gets the looks, of course. But to me, the game ball is the defense.
And Daboll. Let's give Daboll a game.
Oh, Daboll, of course, too. The OC, I'm happy, for him to come over. He's changed things. But that bend but don't break. What we did today, without having Aziz and Thibodeau on the edge to get that pass rush, is oh man, it's out of this world. If you think about the big cat Leonard Williams did in the middle and Dexter Lawrence, those guys, Tay Crowder, Jihad Ward, those guys got to
McKinney. Ward had a couple of really good tackles.
Beautiful. So you got to really pay attention to that, because that was the key for them to hold and be stout to where we're still in striking distance. For as bad as the offense played in the first half, that's everything. Right. So then I think, my opinion, I'm not in the locker room. I wish I was, but I'm sure Wink was probably flipping tables and throwing things against the wall. Right. And guys said, OK, let's wake up. It came in the second half and boom, Saquon breaks that run. So I think that was pretty much a joke, to kind of close off. I know you got trying to shut things down here, but a lot of people keep on talking about Daniel Jones. Right. The frustrating part with him is that, you see him do good things, but you see him kind of struggle at times. People talk about the line, right? To me, I didn't have any issues with the line. I thought that, they look great with the running game. I mean, that's exceptional. The best thing for a quarterback is a running game. Everybody understands that, right?
Which is why he hit on the Shep play once Barkley started to get it
going. Right? It's play action. That's what they do. So, but the key is, the problems that I have with him, Chris, is this. You have to be able to change protections. When you come to the line, you have to be able to see, the linebackers, who's the Mike? Okay, he's coming up in the A and the B gap. That's right between the two guards. Or if they're coming on the outside in the C and D gap. You got to be able to read, help your lineman out, change the protection. That's why sometimes you hear quarterbacks say waggle, 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 because they're letting you know, move, shift over, change the protection. He's not doing that. And that is the issue, because that can help him, because he can say, listen, I'm the quarterback. I'm seeing things from a totally different view than the lineman. So I got to help you guys adjust. But if he's not doing that, they're going to go regular what they see, what the center says. And sometimes, and that's what the good quarterbacks do. Okay. And Tannehill did it a couple of times today, which stopped him from getting sacked. And that's what saved him. So Daniel Jones, that curve, that's what I'm worried about with him. But like you said earlier, what I love, let's take it week by week. Okay, let's take it week by week. Let's see where this goes.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I've been as honest as I can this entire offseason. If you said, Chris, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, I do think if I had to say, yes, Jones will probably be replaced at the end of the year. All signs point to it with the new GM and everything else. But I'm going to give the kid a year. And no matter how he looked today, and there was some good, there was some bad. But no matter how he looked today, I was going to look at it like this is week one in a brand new offense with a makeshift offensive line. These guys have never played together. So I agree with you. He needs to work on his pre-snap reads and the throw to Barkley was inexcusable in the end zone. That can't happen. And Brian Daboll laid into him for it. I'm giving him the year. I have no other choice as a fan. I don't want to see Tyrod Taylor. I want Jones to get the year, see if he can grow as a quarterback.
Yeah, Chris, you're right. Give him a shot. Let's see what happens, right? But once again, what we have to do, this is like a dysfunctional relationship, right? Let's take it week by week. You have your ups, you have your downs.
That's it, man.
Right? But we'll try to ride it out. But listen, man, great show. Keep it up, man. It's amazing. I'm glad I was able to drop by today. And, just keep on feeling us. Just 1 week, let's enjoy it. But next we got Carolina. I got them, Chris. I got them in between 7-9, 8-8. That's what I see this year. Right. 9-7 is a push. But I kind of see that, and I only say that because of the injuries and certain things. You gotta think about that too, right? So, but it's exciting, man. And listen, it's no better feeling than football season. So, I'm excited about it.
I think it's a good test next week. I think Carolina going in was probably a team that most people felt was kind of on par with us. So see if you could build off this week. If we do 2-0, suddenly you're looking at a banged up Dak and Cowboys. Who knows where we could go? But I appreciate you for calling in, man. And you got a YouTube channel?
Oh, absolutely. Please, everybody, come by to my channel, LV Live. I'm right there. I'll leave the link down there for you guys to come check it out. I'll definitely start coming on here more often, man. I'm a Yankees fan. I've been on his stream a couple of times, letting them know, I don't know we want to go there, but I'm going to have to do it. You know what I mean?
Hey, we're both Knicks and Giants fans, so you can't go wrong there. And I'm excited for the Knicks this year. We'll see if they can.
Hey, no, really quick. I gotta say this. Everybody who's a Knicks fan, Randall's gotta go. Randall's gotta go. Listen,
and my thing with Randall is I don't even think Randall I think Randall's a good player. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But the problem with Randall now with this team, especially after we didn't get Donovan Mitchell, he's clogging up Obi Toppin. He's clogging up these younger players. And I think the Knicks have to realize, even if they don't feel Obi Toppin's in the long-term plans of this basketball team, which hopefully he is, you need to play him to up his trade value.
Absolutely. Chris, you nailed it. That's exactly what I've been saying on my show, on my channel. That's why you have to make the move. Once you didn't make the decision to get Donovan Mitchell, then you said, okay, I'm betting on the young guys, right? I'm betting on the young players. So with that being said, we got to move forward here. We got to clear up some things. We still have our picks, but we got to see what Cam Reddish is. We got to see what Obi is. We need that trade value to get up, to get higher in the draft, or maybe possibly get another star to want to come here, right? But we can't do that if Randall's in the way with his temper tantrums. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the thing with Rand, and you know this as well. You're a New York fan. Like the one thing New York, especially the Knicks fans, like the one thing Knicks fans will back you if you're a high effort guy. They will go to bat for you until the end. When you got bad body language, like Julius Randle had last year. They don't care. They will kill you for it.
Well,
it's the same thing with Kenny Golladay with the Giants.
Absolutely, Chris. When he did that, Chris, that was career suicide in New York. You know that, Chris.
Yep.
When he did that, you can't not here, man. You can do that anywhere. You can do that in Memphis. You can do that not in this city.
We're blue collar. We're blue collar. We want our guys.
Listen, let me get out of here. Hey, listen, I'm gonna see you in the World Series, okay?
All right, man. Subway Series. Let's do it, man. All right, be good, man. Thanks for popping on, man.
Yeah, you too. All
right. Nice guy, man. Hopefully I get to have him back on the channel. Seemed like a smart guy, nice guy. So glad to get to talk to LV live. Go over there, check him out. And I've seen him in the chat before. But guys, we are going to close this out. It's 11:36. I got to be up early tomorrow. Dak is expected to be out for a month. My God, I'm not going to get sleep tonight because I'm going to be all over Twitter. I'm going to be watching these highlights. I got to be up at 5:30 a.m. for my job tomorrow. I'm going to be up. It's Giants night. We're all super excited. I got to get some sleep tonight, but I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the support you guys always show on the channel. Congratulations on the win today. Enjoy it. I'll definitely have a video out at some point tomorrow. Just don't know what time. And kind of recapping this. I'm sure there'll be other stuff that comes out. I'm sure Daboll and Shane will give some interesting tidbits, and we'll go over that and start to have some daily videos up on the channel. And hopefully the New York Giants get something cooking. Appreciate all you guys. You guys are the best. And let's go Giants. Thank you, guys.